Good afternoon and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. Don't miss anything, but if you do, we got you covered, as we'll post all 3 hours upon the conclusion of the show, both to iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can email us if you like. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameron Show. Don't forget to use the WTSM app. Utilize that on any of your mobile devices. You can watch the show. That's right. Watch us perform our radio's duties on YouTube. And what's the other one? Periscope? So often I Periscope. I think when we first got Periscope, we said hello or something on it. And that was like the last time I've ever seen it.
Periscope's cool, though. I've always said, I like it for press conferences. When you're leaving a game, if you're down in Tampa for a Bucks game, they do a really good job with it, or Florida State. Because you can also DVR stuff at the end just by holding the screen and scanning. So if you wanted to watch us on a smart device and watch the video stream, if it's over, let's say it's 7 p.m., you could just DVR with your pointer finger all the way through a commercial break to the next segment.
Good news. We're not going to talk about Periscope. We're going to talk about Florida State and Florida State's own Brooks Koepka. As he told the field, I'm not having none of your nonsense. Here's a 63 for that ass.
Stick him in your mouth and suck him.
Brooks throws up a 63. You heard right. Ties the PGA Championship mark, sets the course record also, and it's now the second time he's done it. I think it's 17 times as in golf history a 63 has been shot.
Yeah, according to ESPN Stats and Info, only Greg Norman and Vijay Singh have hit the number multiple times in a major.
So what a
before today, of course.
Yeah, before today. What a start. So good for him. It is a 4-round tournament, though, so we don't get too giddy. We celebrate today because Noel has done well and done something remarkable. And, oh, by the way, it's not as if he hasn't announced his presence with authority at majors already. He has 3 of them. If he wins his 4th now, the questions will be removed as to the level of dominance and where he sits amongst the elite in the game. Right now, by some talking heads, most notably Brandel Chambly, whom I like, by the way, he's a guy that's on a torrid streak, but don't know if he belongs in the same pantheon as, say, Rory McIlroy just yet, or Tiger Woods, certainly not. But at some point, when you go on a stretch of this length and dominance in majors, you kick down the doorway to that and you become on their level. You are that player. You are that guy. You are the best in the world at a given time, and that's what he's about to be. I'd say if he wins this, you would say he's the best player in the world.
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, Rory has backdoored quite a few top 5s in majors, but he's had a rough go. Now, he won the Players this year, which was a good sign, but he seems to just – the struggles find him the weeks of the majors. It's kind of crazy.
Weird, yeah.
And it's been 5 years since he's closed the deal at one. Brandel has also said that major success early in your career is a great indicator that you're going to be a great player. And Brooks, I mean, who's tougher than this guy?
Because you're handling the moment, and that's really true. Now, right now, what you have is a deadly combination that could portend of him boat racing the field. We'll see. But you have a motivated Brooks Koepka who is like a lot of elite athletes. They find the chip to put on their shoulder. They find every negative thing said about them and then elevate that to a status that probably it doesn't deserve, but in their minds, it's all that matters. In their minds, it is something of a slight to be righted, to be held up and utilized as proper motivation in training and in focus and obviously in a retort of some sort on the course. And so he has his motivation. I think he's a guy that needs that sort of thing. He finds slights. Secondly, he's a guy who has supreme confidence. If you don't believe that, his press conference before the first round yesterday was hilarious. Basically, summarily dismissing over half the field by saying they're just not equipped to beat him. He said, well, majors are easier to win than regular golf tournaments because half the field I'm just going to beat because, well, I am. Okay, there's that. Secondly, not everybody has the mental capability and toughness to handle performing well in a major. They're good enough to be there, but they're uncomfortable about being there. So they have no chance. So now if a field is 80 people, we cut it in half that I'm going to beat automatically because I'm better than. So that's 40. Now of those 40, 20 more of those will not be comfortable competing for a major because just the idea of it being a major will be overwhelming to them and they won't play their best golf. Now we're down to 20 people I got to beat. Of those 20 people, how many of them have ever actually stood on the tee to win a major on a Sunday? Oh, maybe 5 to 7. Now I got to beat 7 people.
Stick 'em in your mouth and suck 'em.
And what was unique about that was, obviously, there was a slight backlash to that. Some people thought, well, my goodness. But he's only echoing a sentiment almost verbatim, by the way, at least the first part of that Jack said.
Yes, Jack said half the field is capable of winning a major every time you step on the first tee, and that's it, that's all.
Right. So he's just being honest. And it's refreshing to have somebody say, look, I know for a fact that at least half the field, maybe more, don't even want to be here today. They know damn well they're not winning this tournament because they can't mentally. They can't see themselves winning this tournament. I think that's true. We've seen a number of elite players play quite differently when it becomes a major and on a Sunday, maybe even a Saturday, after they've had a couple of good rounds, after they've slept on the lead. Guys fall to pieces.
Well, and it's inverted with Brooks. Because the regular tournament,
I think he's bored.
Yes.
I don't think he cares enough to focus and to remain consistent in those tournaments. A lot of times I think he's working on things. It is to his detriment. I do think if he's going to have the complete career and he wants to make a serious run at being, say, an all-time top 5 golfer, you got to care about the other events because all the ones that we put in that category won a lot of tournaments. The season's the season. You listen, it certainly helps if you're consistently winning majors, no doubt. But most of the all-time greats that we talk about have upwards of 40 and 50. In Tiger's case, in Sam Snead's case, obviously in Jack's case, we're talking about getting into the 60s and 70s and 80s in terms of wins. So he's going to need to win something else every now and again, but for now, you keep on doing what you're doing and kicking ass in the majors. It's unbelievable.
This will do. Consider it's 18 holes is a round of golf, as everybody knows. He beat Tiger and Molinari by 9
strokes.
By 9.
Yeah. And now, they didn't play well, and he did. So, yes, but
you know what? In watching the round, sometimes golf, in this way, the Ryder Cup is amazing. You know, how the hell did they half that hole? These two guys, one was in the middle of the fairway. He stuck it to 16 feet.
Yeah.
The other one was in the rough, in the bunker, greenside, chips in. They both make birdie. And so it's a halved hole. And that's BS because one did it the right way and one did it ridiculously.
One did it aesthetically pleasing. Yes.
And so sometimes golf can be deceiving. There was no deceiving in terms of, you look at the gap. 9 shots in this round. There was no deception. This was as it appears. This was a butt kicking. We'll see if he does it again tomorrow. It's hard to do it 4 straight days. But Brooks, as we expect, did not shrink in the moment. In fact, I think he intimidated the other 2 players.
He probably did with his length on a very long course because he's hitting at places they can't reach, and that tends to wear on you. I think I've seen that throughout Dustin Johnson's career when he's paired with somebody who can't get out there. You can see it wear on them.
One thing I thought, and maybe it's not true, because there were several delays today. There were little bottlenecks on the course, and that'll happen in a major championship, especially with split tees. You know, par 5s trying to reach into
par
or difficult
happened,
par 3s, things like that. But I thought, in watching the entire round, Tiger looked like he was rushing. And Brooks, we know that his speed of play, his rate of play, he'll go. Brooks likes to go.
He plays quickly, but his pace in terms of his walking, his breathing, he's very deliberate, very slowed down. It's wonderful. It's just that he doesn't spend a lot of time over the shot.
Exactly. So if you're in the fairway with Brooks and you have to hit first, which you will because he's going to outdrive you,
right.
As soon as the ball hits the green, he's pretty much standing over his golf ball and ready to hit.
He plays properly.
I thought Tiger rushed through a few things around the green early today.
Yeah, I think he seemed out of sorts. I think he was frustrated with his putter, and then that affected everything else. It doesn't help when the guy you're playing with is draining everything, and that's where I say Brooks will not repeat a 63 for starters, but he doesn't have to. If he shoots in the 60s, he's going to be in good shape. But he made several long putts, including a par save. He also banged in a 15 and an 18-footer. I mean,
I could tell you, though, honestly, watching a lot of golf, I was thinking about this yesterday when you were talking about golf and playing it for a long time, going on 27 years of playing the game. But I've always loved the majors. I like watching it almost as much as I like playing it because when I was a kid, Jack was still kind of on that fringe where he could make a cut and scare a top 10 or a top 5 in a major. And I've watched it every major since, every year since. And this is easily, today's round by Brooks, one of the top 3 or 4 rounds I've ever seen in a major. It's up there with Phil, the first round in the Open Championship, or Henrik Stenson when he shot 63 on a Sunday, or Fleetwood a year ago. There have been a lot of low rounds in the last 4 or 5 years. This one by Brooks, he could have shot 61 without breaking a sweat.
Well, when Molinari bested Tiger, he shot a 64.
Right.
We forget about his effort. That's get you some. A little 64 will hurt your feelings.
Given the circumstances,
Yeah,
yes, it's up there with Stenson
yeah.
in terms of closing out a round. It's one thing to be Fleetwood and post a number on a Sunday.
Right.
It's quite another to be in the last group
be in
and
the
shoot
last
64.
group and go get it. Yeah, so he deserves credit too. So a lot of fun. Many days left of that tournament. We'll keep you updated. Dustin Johnson's on the course. Rory is on the course. None of them are making moves just yet, but they're early in their round, middle of the front 9, so we'll get to that. Hey, big announcement. Florida State now knows what time they'll be kicking off against Boise State. I don't know why this helps crystallize it, make it more real to me. I understand we are in just mid-May, just past mid-May, though. May is flying past.
We are just past a 31-day month. It is the 16th.
There you go. We're past the midway
in the afternoon on the 16th.
Before you know it, we're talking about June, buddy, and football's nearly upon us. Yes, I know. I promised it yesterday. I'll do W's and L's today because that's what we do in each new month. In the summertime, we give you a W's and L's. But Florida State will take on Boise State. Prime time of the nation watching on ESPN, 7 o'clock over in Jacksonville. That's right. 7 p.m. kickoff, Boise State, ESPN over in Jayville. So a lot of fun just to get a time with that game. I don't know why, but it does crystallize at least the first portion of the season now. Florida State's first 3 games, we know when they'll be played. ESPN, 7 o'clock, Boise State, ULM, 5 p.m., ACC Network. And then again, on the great ACC Network, Tom, against Virginia on the road in our ACC opener at 7:30 p.m. in the 3rd game of the season. So 2 primetime games here and a 5 p.m. All right.
Given the way the slate is, too, in week 1, Auburn, Oregon is interesting, but this isn't one of those knockdown, drag out, park your ass type week 1 slates. So I'm glad we're playing late because then we can just enjoy the tailgates and the expectations and let it rise, let the day go. I'd rather do that than play a nooner. If you're just talking about the fan experience and enjoying that opening day, this is the way you want it. If you wanted to penalize Boise, you'd want to kick off at noon or 3.
Noon, yeah. God, I think about that heat. I think about being in that stadium, and I think I'm so grateful to be a member of the press sitting in air conditioning.
Or in a skybox.
Or a skybox, or some sort of luxury. Yeah, that's what I think. I think, man, it's good to have the career I have.
I think you've got good thoughts.
I do. And I'll tell my father, Dad, enjoy the stands. I'll be up here in the air conditioning. I'll come check on you at halftime. Make sure you don't die of heat stroke or anything like that.
Little teaser for W's and L's. Percentage chance we win the Boise game in your mind?
66%.
Woo. Okay.
66% chance that we beat Boise State. I feel almost bullish on that. I feel very good about that.
I would qualify as bullish for a 5-7 squad.
Yeah, I feel bullish on that one. And then that's the Kickstarter. That's what you need right there, buddy. That turns into a 2-0 start. Obviously, if you win that game, you're basically 2-0 because you're going to beat ULM. And then you got to go on the road in your first ACC game. And again, I'm not doing all the previews here, but I would say that, I can't wait to go to that game. My nephew's UVA law, so I'll get to see him, and he's up there completing his studies. And plus, that campus is beautiful. You'll get to go for the first time, and you'll see how pretty it is. And then we'll beat that ass under the lights. What a start to the season, Tom
Between
Lane.
their columns and such.
Yes, it'll be beautiful. Good times. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark
tsparkconstruction.com.
Are you starting a new business or expanding your business? Looking for the right general contractor to assist you with a tenant space build-out? Look no further. From restaurant to retail, we have the experience to work with you. At T-Spark Enterprises, we are ready to be a part of your vision and build a space that exceeds your expectations. Whether you're looking for design build or build from your own design, give us a call today for a free consultation. As the owner of T-Spark Enterprises, I guarantee when it comes to your business space, we only provide picture-perfect results.
Call 850-766-1340. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, tsparkconstruction.com.
License number CGC 1525336.
Hardee's used to think bowls were useless dishware. Then we created the new Loaded Hash Round Bowl. Crispy potatoes, fluffy eggs, sausage gravy, melted cheddar, and crumbled bacon. Now part of our 2 for $4 mix and match deal. No longer are bowls just college football games you can nap to. Now they're loaded with Hardee's delicious breakfast favorites and in our 2 for $4 mix and match. Try a bowl today. They're actually really useful. Hardee's, because it tastes better.
Available for a limited time during regular breakfast hours at participating restaurants. Tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
It's springtime in Tallahassee, and that means we're enjoying the best weather this city has to offer. That's why now's the time to hit the deck. That's right, the Deck Pizza Pub in downtown Tallahassee. From the folks who brought you Metro Deli, the Deck Pizza Pub is Tallahassee's home for the best Neapolitan pizza, along with the best craft beer and drink specials in town. Enjoy college night specials on Monday, legislative aid specials on Tuesday, and happy hour Monday through Friday, plus all day Saturday. The Deck Pizza Pub in downtown Tallahassee, the old Po' Boys location off College Avenue. Hit the deck this spring.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Are you looking for a trucking company you can work with till retirement? Do you want to feel like you're part of a family instead of just a truck number? If so, join the Early Trucking family that's been trucking for 25 years. ETC offers a benefit package that's second to none, including a 401k, paid vacations, sick leave, health insurance, Aflac group rates, and long-term care with only 2 health questions and a $1,000 signing bonus. They have regional dry van, hopper, and tanker lines available, home every weekend or more. Go to earlytruckingcompany.com to fill out an application. Help ETC keep agriculture in motion.
Hendrick.
New way to buy, new roads to drive. The all-new Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chevrolet has reinvented the car buying experience. So find new roads and your new Chevrolet today or shop DaleJuniorChevy.com.
Big at the plate and ablaze on the base paths. The 2019 Atlanta Braves are ready to defend their title as the season gets rolling.
And hit in the air to center field and crushed to straightaway center as far as you can go.
Atlanta Braves baseball on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you by Wit in Glass, Tallahassee's first family in glass, and by the Deck Pizza Pub in downtown Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
I feel like I failed yesterday when I was talking about Florida's many problems over the past few weeks because I didn't bring up the quote that Dan Mullen was attributed. not long ago. I think it was early portion of May. His quote was, "I think we did a poor job of recruiting if guys were coming in and then immediately walking out the door because it was something different than what they thought it would be, and we lied to them during recruiting, or we sold them on a dream that wasn't true." He said that because he wanted to take a shot at Georgia's recruiting and the many transfers that have happened to Kirby Smart. That's dumb for two reasons. A, you never really know when it's your turn on one of these things, and you can get on a bad run now that the transfer portal is available. Well done, sir. And B, Georgia is stomping your ass in recruiting. They are beating you and everybody else in the East in a way that is uncomfortable, that can only be described as prison love. That entire division is staring up at Georgia in awe at the stars, all about them. It is so lopsided they'd call the fight.
They're dusting you.
If this were a prize match, it would have been called long ago. Georgia is doing stuff that nobody in the East is doing. In fact, proof of that is, again, you can combine the star rankings of all of the other teams in the East, and they don't match that of Georgia's singularly. And then secondarily, it's stuff that's akin to what Alabama did in their best years, their best 2- and 3-year runs. It's what's, unfortunately, Clemson is starting to do now here in the ACC. But if you're Dan Mullen, shut up, dude. You had a decent season because of turnover luck. I got it.
In the equation, he would be Chris Carter, and their Georgia is Mike Ditka, just dusting him.
If you want to play the clip, you introduced it.
Susie, I was from Philly, but they got rid of me, so I'm going with the Giants. Let's see if the
That's Dan Mullen. He's eating it.
It's just, Dan, what are you doing? Shh. Stand down. Good first year. Very good. Duly noted. Got it. You're nowhere close to Georgia. Stop doing that. It's the tide has turned in a big, big, big way if you're a Florida fan and you're chasing or attempting to chase Georgia. It's uncomfortable for all of us, actually. I wish Georgia wasn't doing so well because that would mean maybe perhaps some of those guys, in particular offensive linemen, were coming here. But Georgia's getting almost anybody they want these days. And
still kind of a net positive because of where we are, because we're so far down.
Yeah.
You know, if we climb back up to prominence,
and we
then
have to beat them along with
it's
Alabama.
time to go toe to toe.
Yeah, and then it is time, right? But I'm yesterday we talked at length about regression to the mean. We talked a little bit about teams who really benefited from turnover luck last year, and Syracuse was one of those. Talk about that later in the show. But also, Florida was big time. And those aren't things that you can predict. It might happen again. It could happen that you were on the major plus side of the turnover equation again this year. But statistically speaking, it ought not. So we shall see. But Georgia isn't having to rely on these kinds of things. They're relying on the 5 stars that they recruit on a regular basis and stockpile in a way that nobody else in the East is. And so I don't know. I certainly would steer clear of commenting about how Georgia is dealing with the transfers that have occurred here in the last 2 years.
Florida's got an interesting football schedule this year because the challenges, they come in spurts. Obviously, they start with Miami, and that's the game that's played way early on August 24th in Orlando. But then they get an off week and they play Tennessee Martin before going to Kentucky, which is, it's not what it was 20 years ago where you could just chalk that up as a W. And then they host Tennessee. But then they get a rebound game with Towson before playing host to Auburn and then going on the road to LSU. So Florida's got a couple of little chunks there. And, of course, they have a bye week later before November the 2nd matching up with Georgia, which is a loss.
That's a loss automatically.
But it's little packets, it looks like, for Florida here in terms of the challenges.
Give me that number again real quick. Give me those games again, those little packets.
Okay.
I
So
want to get it crystallized in my mind here so I can know when I watch a Florida loss.
So they play in week 0 or week -1.
Yeah, Miami.
Against Miami on the 24th. They get a bye week after that. Ridiculous. They have 3 bye weeks this year, technically.
Yeah, but they also have to play at 3 weeks before anybody else, so I don't know. I don't care.
Tennessee Martin, which is their tune-up, and then they travel to Kentucky on the 14th of September.
No longer an easy affair.
Right. They host Tennessee. Probably should handle that.
Probably.
They host Towson, and then they host Auburn before traveling. No rest. They host Auburn, then go to LSU. So back-to-back SEC West games.
I'd love to
rough.
chalk up a loss for the road game against LSU, but for whatever reason, Florida rises up against LSU and finds ways to win the ugliest of games against the Tigers.
In truth, if the Tigers, I heard that, South Carolina would typically in a vacuum be pretty easy for Florida, right? Well, they play South Carolina right after LSU on the road. So they go home Auburn, road LSU, road South Carolina. That makes that game at least a little bit more difficult.
You know, that's one thing I'm happy about. We don't ever have to go up to Columbia, South Carolina. That's just a sorry place.
We did pass through it.
Oh, I have multiple times, Tom. Every time I'm reminded of why it is I don't like to be there. I drive through, I go, God, this place, what are we doing? Let's go. Let's get out of here. I feel uncomfortable. South Carolina brings out the worst in me in so many ways.
It does.
But the number one way is that I judge everybody there. I do. And I feel it. I just feel my judgment.
I don't judge. I just present the evidence that you have ninja Muslims out there to get you.
Meaning on the billboards,
billboards
that they're preaching that you should be afraid of. Right. No, it's a backwards-ass place. That's my point. I'm telling you.
But they look like ninjas.
It's the roads. It's the I just don't even. We don't need to go down this road because I end up alienating many listeners, but I attack their cities.
And it's like a dude. It's, what is this?
None of it. It's just South Carolina is what it is. You're like, just saying the name out
is
loud.
Shang Tsung coming
it's
too?
It's ridiculous. Every time I see it, I laugh. I think about the fireworks on the side of the road. I think about the potholes. I think about the lack of coffee joints. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Passing through to get to Hilton Head. That's where we're going.
We are against progress here in South Carolina. That's for sure. We make that abundantly clear. That's just
unless you're at Hilton Head.
Unless you're, yes, in one of those. Oh, no, actually, Charleston is nice too. It's culture.
It's as nice as it sounds too.
It is. It's nice. Yeah, it's nice.
Some cities it doesn't match.
Really good food. Really great architecture. Yeah. Charleston somehow figured it out.
I've yet to be there. Charleston.
You'd like it.
Well, we did like Greenville, didn't we?
I like Greenville's downtown. I think that their downtown is what we ought to model in Tallahassee. I mean, when we go to other cities of like size, we ought to model their downtown. It's awesome.
We need a minor league baseball
Well,
team.
it almost happened many moons ago, long before you were here. And way back in the day in the 90s, this was a topic on the regular. You would read about it. It almost happened.
I could have helped. I stumped for the club level.
I'm all in on a minor league baseball team here, too. I agree with you. I don't know that's happening anytime soon. So what I'll have to settle for instead, and this will be my campaign piece whenever I run for office, which is never. But if it were to happen, I would somehow find a way. And I guess because I'd be a politician, I could legitimately say by hook or by crook, to improve our airport. Damn it, man. I mean, at some point.
The only upside is
it is the capital city.
If somebody else pays for your flight, say the office, the company,
yeah,
you could show up there 15 minutes before your flight and you're all good.
That is the only upside.
That's the only upside, though.
Upside.
It is significant on the way in. But when you're trying to buy a flight for yourself and it says $587 to Atlanta round trip.
Well, we don't want to go down this road. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
That's games for less.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, where Memorial Day savings started May 1st with May Holiday Bonus Cash, Frontier and Titan Red Tag Truck Cash. And at Kraft Nissan, you get special interest rates and huge rebates. You get both. The other guys, you only get one rate or rebate. So listen up. All 2019 Rogues in stock are $3,000 off, and you get 0.9% interest for 60 months. All 2019 Altimas in stock are $5,000 off, and you get 2.9% interest for 60 months. And we've got over 100 new Rogue Rogues and Altimas to choose from. At Craft Nissan, Pathfinders and Muranos are up to $8,000 off. And Titans, with America's best truck warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles bumper to bumper, are up to $12,000 off. Seriously, at Craft Nissan, Memorial Day savings are today and every day this month, with huge savings all month long. Plus, Nissan is blowing away the competition with special low interest rates and rebates. You get both. No wonder Tallahassee is a Nissan town, a Craft Nissan town. And Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Interest rates with approved credit through NMAC.
Yuengling Golden Pilsner, a highly sessionable beer, golden in both name and color. Yuengling Golden Pilsner is the perfect balance of hop and malt character for crisp and smooth thirst-quenching refreshment. Cheer for your garnet and gold with Yuengling Golden Pilsner. Yuengling, brewing good times for 190 years. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. A message from local beverage distributor Triangle Sales.
Spilled your red wine? Quick, the Quicker Picker-Upper. Bounty picks up spills and messes quicker and is 2 times more absorbent than the leading ordinary brand, so you can get back on track quicker. Bounty, the Quicker Picker-Upper.
The Jeff Cameron Show podcast, available on demand at ESPNTallahassee.com and on iTunes today. The Jeff Cameron Show podcast is brought to you by Garnet and Gold of Tallahassee. When you buy FSU apparel, support local business. GarnetandGold.com. Seminole headlines.
I don't know if I could lasso
So
a dog.
y'all don't think Osceola and Renegade makes like special appearances that aren't inside Doak Campbell Stadium, like dressed up in the full regalia?
Well, he's not like a clown. I don't think so.
I don't think that's ever happened.
Zero. They're not like a trophy.
No,
You can't,
it's
like, have
not.
them
That's
over.
not.
You can't do that.
Well, I'm not saying they would be there
Glorious
the whole
tradition.
time.
They're not
I'd say
tap dancing for you.
You start your kid's 10th birthday
Also,
party planting the spear.
When you go to Doak, you can go before the game and take pictures with Osceola.
No, but he wants to be the dad that had the party for his son where Osceola and Renegade showed up. So that all the kids at school were talking about Brady's party.
You think there's a price, though, that would
Oh,
make it happen?
everything's got a price. Jimbo would come dance in your front yard for a certain amount of money. Yeah, that would happen. You're like, hey, son, I got Jimbo Fisher to dance in the front yard for you. Happy birthday. Do it, Jimbo. Get it. I paid good money for this. 30 more seconds. I'm paying. I want my money's worth.
Tuesday night from 5 to 7 p.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Thank you very much.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. The New York Jets shake up the front office today, firing GM Mike McCagnon after 4 seasons on the job. ESPN's Adam Schefter.
There have been a lot of discussion in league circles that this was a move that the Jets potentially could make after the draft. And, of course, last week, Adam Gase, the Jets head coach, who's now the new acting interim GM and the head coach, came out and said, where does all this talk come from? It really angers me. He said that.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio. I'm going to pick a city a day to lampoon because I like the retorts. People, I make fun of my hometown a lot. It's okay. It's all right.
Like Tampa is squarely in the crosshairs all the time.
On the regular, yeah. I can't say much about St. Pete anymore. St. Pete's turned into a fantastic place. Much better than when I lived there.
I've gotten into it with 2 different Jaguars fans over the years. Like, well, Tampa's nothing to write home about.
Didn't say it was.
It's not.
No.
I know. And?
Yeah. And listen, the thing about the Jags or Jacksonville is that there's plenty of spots in Jacksonville I adore. The beach is a wonderful place. But
I love Madeira Beach in Tampa Bay.
That's right.
You know why? Because it's not really in Tampa Bay.
That's right. Beaches in general tend to win out. You're like, oh, I like the beach. Yeah,
Palm Harbor's okay.
Me too.
Got a lot of golf courses.
Yeah, a lot of golf courses. A lot of money. Yeah. If you could live right on Bayshore, okay, right there, right there, if you could do that.
It is gorgeous.
Davis Island, maybe.
Davis is
all
not
right.
messing around
Yeah,
either.
No. You notice I'm picking the spots where you'd have to be a multimillionaire to get a place right on the spot. Yeah.
Some good spots that you can retire to during Gasparilla when you're down there.
There's no doubt. Already it's being asked, so I'll answer the question. I knew it was going to come up. It was, is that a Cat 5 maintain? Meaning the announcement that at the start of the show there that Boise State's 7 p.m. over in Jacksonville. No, and I'll address this more than once in the weeks that lead up to it, maybe even in today's show, but no, I don't think at any point am I going to designate that game fresh off a 5-7 season as a Cat 5 maintain. It's Boise, which may very well be a better team than we are. I'm not trying to slight Boise. In fact, I'm very excited to see their campus and to go to that stadium a year from now. But it is Boise. We ought to strive to be better.
You see they turned up the blue on the field.
They did. I'm excited. I can't wait to be there, man. We're gonna do a week's worth of shows out there. You're gonna be like, Jeff, really? We've been in Boise for 4 days. Come on now.
Remember the crank TVs, and you could change how vivid the colors were in the contrast?
Mm-hmm. Remember having to do that with the little side thing on the knob there?
I had a throwback TV.
Yeah.
Oh, this is all the way up with the blue on their new field. My God.
Up. So, we'll enjoy that. But because I don't know what we are, I get the magnitude of the game is in play. There's no doubt that you look at the importance of that football game and you might be inclined to say, this is a Cat 5. I don't think so, though. I don't think game number 1 off a 5-7 season allows for it to be. You've got to show that you can play a little bit, that you're a team of significance. There are two combatants in a game that is usually labeled a Cat 5, and both have some semblance of a pulse, certainly, for starters. And I don't know what we are yet. I suspect much better than we were a year ago. I like us to win the game, so I'm assuming a lot of things about us being better than we were a year ago. But until I have actual proof, I can't label game 1 a Cat 5. I didn't label game number 1 against Alabama a Cat 5 maintain. Pretty much Cat 5 maintains speak to games here at Doak Campbell Stadium. They're not the ones that have been offered up to appease boosters in other cities. You don't get rewarded with a Cat 5 maintain when you ship our ass off to Orlando or over to Jacksonville. No, instead you get shunned for that.
Well, it doesn't sound like there's going to be an appeal heard by the committee for Cat 5. We'll try anyway.
I don't think so.
If we can be 2nd and 7 every once in a while because we run between the tackles, or maybe specifically the guards, then we've got a real chance to be a fun team this year. Just every once in a while would be nice.
Yeah, can you win first down? It would be incredible.
I'm not asking for 2nd and 5. I'm just asking for 2nd and 7 once in a while. Is that too much?
You want to do this thing where maybe I make an exception, and I'll grant you that there are games in the not too distant future at elsewhere, for example, where maybe it would be possible. But I don't think so. I mean, for example, in 2020, and by the way, in 2020, reminder, we play West Virginia.
That's also in Atlanta, is that right?
That's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium,
yeah.
so that can't be a Cat 5 because you shipped our ass off to Atlanta. God. Anyhow. So, no, that doesn't work. I will note that game against West Virginia is September the 5th. September the 19th, we play Boise State. So, man.
Oh, that is busy.
What an early, fun time. I mean, West Virginia and Boise State in the same first 3 weeks of the schedule.
You can see the concrete of Atlanta and then the mountains in the distance in Boise. That's 2 nice dropbacks there for a couple of football games.
And then you have Notre Dame here September the 6th in 2021. So that doesn't really, I don't think that's a Cat 5 maintain. Maybe.
Well, if Sims is our quarterback.
It is here at least. I'll grant you that. I mean, you got nothing in 2022 of any significance early in the season as far as, a game where you'd go, oh, this could qualify. I'm trying to find Well, maybe at Virginia Tech in 2023, taking it on the road at Virginia Tech. I'm trying to find road locations where I would grant a Cat 5 maintain.
Well, what about if we reach the heights of double-digit win seasons again, and in 2 or 3 years' time?
Very, very out in front of ourselves here. But yeah, okay.
It's a new graduating class, comes and goes, and all that kind of stuff, and we're on the road to Clemson. I mean, at that point,
that's in 2023. By the way, we play. But it's going to take that amount of time, right, till we get to that point. We're also at Notre Dame in 2024.
Oh, what month is that in? Usually the dates are set for the Notre Dame. It doesn't say.
Doesn't say. TBA.
Okay.
2024. If we're getting really crazy,
maybe it'll be earlier in the year, so Notre Dame's campus can look nicer.
When did we schedule that damn Georgia game?
Oh, that's forever away, isn't it? Isn't it like 2030?
What? That far away? Is that right?
29, 2030. Hang on, I'll pull it up.
Man, that is hurtful. We need to get on with the getting then. Let's go. I know we got West Virginia and Atlanta, which I said. Georgia's 2027, Tom, at Doak Campbell Stadium, 2027. So that is a very distant.
2027, 2028.
Yeah. Can we get a 2021 and a 2023? A 20?
They're trying, aren't they?
Yeah, let's sign with Texas. Let's go. Let's get a
Go
Florida
out
State.
to Austin.
Yes.
Have some damn tacos.
We did the Norman, Oklahoma thing. It was awesome. Maybe by the time we play Texas, we'll have the correct color garnet and the white numbers.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
And we will arrive having righted the ship. Not only on the field athletically are we once again viable, but we don't look like a-holes because we've got the proper uniform sequence. How about that, Tom? Dare to dream, buddy.
And I will take you to the Hornitos Mexican joint that's off of the highway there. It's got barred windows, but fantastic food.
I tend to suspect that a lot of places just off the highway with barred windows have fantastic food.
My
I do. I would.
It is delicious.
Well, you know me. I'm a guy that likes run-down, sort of shaky bars. I like.
This is your place. You'll be the only English-speaking feller in there.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's go. Let's go tomorrow. Good times. I know the food's going to be good. I'll have a margarita, put my arms around the people, say, all right, good times are about to be had, amigos. Let's go. Let's make it happen. It would be a blast. All right. On that note, so I don't see a Cat 5 on the schedule for next year. I could be wrong.
One could develop, right, out of nowhere.
That is correct. That is correct. And that's the only thing I'll say is that there is a possibility. And I'll tell you when it would be. It would be at Clemson, perhaps.
If Lawrence went down and we're undefeated.
That's correct. There's an
Need
outside.
those two things to happen.
The first opportunity is probably Miami, Saturday, November the 2nd, right here, Doak Campbell Stadium. If we are in play for, 10-win season, still in the divisional race, even though we've been smoked by Clemson in October. Maybe they stumbled somehow.
Woo.
And we're right,
We're right there.
And all of a sudden, it's like we are having so much better of a season than I ever anticipated. This is a huge game. Plus, it's Miami. We're on a 2-game losing streak, and we should have won that game a year ago, but we threw it away up 20 in the second half. Let's stomp that ass. Cat 5 maintain, and then you'll play the sounder. I could see that.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
An appointment for your free consultation today. If you can't come to us, we can come to you day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, the law office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid unless you do. Offices Tallahassee, Miami. Se habla español. JRFinjury.com.
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Chuck Oliver here in Tallahassee. Let's talk college football in the South. Join me every weekday at 1 p.m. right here for wall-to-wall coverage of every big program in the region. Whether it's the ACC or SEC, college football is always on our minds. The conversation happens right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio, Tallahassee Sports Monster.
Hendrick. It's the Hendrick Memorial Day sales event all month long at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC. Huge selection, huge savings. Like the 2019 GMC Sierra 1500 truck, up to $12,000 off MSRP. Over 71 to choose from. We are professional grade. See us on Capitol Circle Northeast under the giant American flag, or visit DaleJuniorGMC.com. Not all vehicles will qualify for maximum discount. Must finance with GM Financial plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and dealer admin charge. See dealer for details.
Wahoo Seafood Grill, Tallahassee's leader in fresh seafood, is located right behind the Best Western on North Monroe. Lunch specials start at $7.99. Be sure to try their award-winning house-made burger. Big lunch parties are also welcome. Wahoo Seafood Grill makes lunch specials a very affordable choice. Delivery is available and plenty of parking. Wahoo Seafood Grill, easy access from any part of town using I-10. Visit them online at wahooseafoodgrill.com or call them today at 850-629-4059.
Spilled your red wine? Quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills and messes quicker and is 2 times more absorbent than the leading ordinary brand, so you can get back on track quicker. Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
It's Golick and Wingo.
I have no problem with Brett Brown coming back.
I have no problem either. The bottom line is they went to a last shot at a Game 7 off a series where Joel Embiid, we're talking about a knee issue, the stomach issue, the upper respiratory issue, where he wasn't 100% for all these games. So, because remember, changing coaches, changes schemes, the fundamental, the personality of that coach, too many changes where I don't think they need right now.
Well, I think it changes the relationship. The most important thing any coach can do, especially in the NBA, is have a relationship with your star player. And if you've got this kind of bond between Joel Embiid and Brett Brown where he trusts him like this and believes in him like that, then you foster that. Quite frankly, the hot spotlight is on Ben Simmons going into next year and what he's able to do and develop in his game. That's what I think the most important focus of this offseason is for them.
It doesn't mean he's going to be there the entire season. They get to a slow start, very likely that if they go 5-15, that it could be the end of Brett Brown, but he's going to be there going forward. That's basically all we can say at this point.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Again.
At Jay Cameron Show, please tell me people aren't thinking Boise State is a Cat 5 maintain. No, they're asking. There's a difference. Mike writes, I miss Cat 5 maintains. Oh, buddy, there's a lot of things I miss. Winning football games. I miss winning football games. Whether I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whether I'm talking about Florida State, you name it, I miss winning football games.
Oh, man.
It'd be nice.
I think we won 9 between the two of us this year.
God, man. It's tough. It's frustrating, very frustrating. What are you going to do? You gotta go about the process of getting it turned around, and that only starts with recruiting, putting together a good staff. And this is what I'll say. This has been an off season. We're only in mid-May, but this has been an off season so far where good coaching changes were made, needed coaching changes were made. We all seemingly, outside of some controversy surrounding Kendall Briles, but just in terms of the X's and O's, we all agreed these are good hires. I think both for recruiting and for the X's and O's across the board, all the hirings, we felt very good about those. So when you see a problem and then that problem is addressed, steps are taken to remedy the problem, and they're moving in the right direction, or so we think early on. Time will allow us to judge this better, but for now, we feel good about it. We looked more organized, certainly in the immediate aftermath of all of this during the spring game. And then you're also making progress, and I think there were over 20 players, maybe 25 players somewhere in that mix that had over a 3.0 GPA in the classroom. So if we have problems with the APR, got to get kids to go to class, got to get kids to care, got to hold people accountable. If you're going to hold people accountable, one of the gauges that you might use is, are they doing what you tell them to do, such as go to class, study, get decent grades. All right, check. There's that. Throw in the mix that we got to recruit better, got to get the kinds of kids you can trust that can lead, raise the floor. Well, check in that category too. So listen, there's room for debate regarding whether or not you think Coach Taggart will ever get it done and be the long-term answer here at Florida State. Time will tell. I don't know. Certainly one can have that position based on what they just saw a year ago. If you're in that camp, I don't automatically assume that there's some nefarious reason you're there. It might just be the product was so bad you don't trust it moving forward. Fair enough. I also understand the other argument, which is the guy inherited a bigger mess than people ever realized. The APR debacle is evidence of that. He also was the first time that, he had to take over on the fly, put together a staff. He didn't get all the people he wanted, and we had the first early signing period. So a lot of things were going on that really set him off down the wrong path. Never really got organized, was attempting to put out multiple fires, and in not putting out one, but attending to all of these, he didn't answer any singular issue. So I got it. Let's see what he does now that he's had that chance to take a step back, learn a lesson from the disaster that was a year ago, take steps, fix problems. Now we got to see it on the field. But so far, the offseason has been, I think, a huge step forward, and even those who are of the mindset that he won't be the answer long-term would probably agree with that. They would probably agree that things have been much better in terms of the effort to mend the problems from a year ago, or the cracks in the armor from a year ago.
It's probably worth noting, too, that it's been, 3 months of this? 3.5 months of good momentum, because the way the offseason started was we never got any answers on anything. We never got any answers on anything.
Where we're going to get the offensive line coach? Where we're going to get we didn't know any of that stuff.
David Kelly's status, is he going to be a coach on the field, off the field? He's got a waiver. Travis has got a waiver. Nick Cross was, out there in the wind. Is he actually going to sign with us, or what's the deal with his parents? Even dating back to the James Blackman, DeAndre Francois quarterback controversy stuff. Is DeAndre, is he off the team? Is he on the team? I mean, we just had, 5 or 6 things. I remember you and Ira laughing about it during a Monday interview. We're like, boy, you ask him 5 different questions. They're like, I don't know. The answer, we're kind of waiting on.
We'll see.
We'll see if that's the answer. And you go, damn it, can you give me a straight answer on anything?
I want one concrete yay or nay.
And we've gotten a lot of answers.
Yeah.
Not all of the answers we need, but we've gotten a lot of answers.
No, and not everything is blow you away. Holy moly, look at this. It's all going to be right now, because this is a long process. When your offensive line is the major problem, you can't block anybody, and none of the guys that you have starting are even average, then that's a 2 and 3 year process to get right, to get to where you can say, hey, we've got a good offensive line even. Not great, but good. Because you can't flip it automatically. You got to recruit better players, for starters, and we think we did that, at least at a couple of key spots. And then you got to throw those guys in there, but you're still throwing in freshmen. You're still throwing in freshmen or redshirt freshmen or guys that are still developing and don't have a lot of experience. So they're not going to dominate, but they could just be better. And then when you have coaching issues, you got to go about the process of getting those coaches out and getting new ones in. And that, too, this will be their first year with us. We'll see how it works. But I think they made the right hires.
We've also got Dante Lucas.
I love Dante Lucas. He's a mean man.
He can move.
Even when he's blocking the wrong guy, he's doing so angrily. So that's good. Block somebody. Just hit somebody. There was a whole lot of standing around staring at the stars last year.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men on a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Bar and Grill, 2475 Appalachia Parkway. Tallahassee loves the corner pocket.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, where Memorial Day savings started May 1st with May Holiday Bonus Cash, Frontier and Titan Red Tag Truck Cash. And at Kraft Nissan, you get special interest rates and huge rebates. You get both. The other guys, you only get one rate or rebate. So listen up. All 2019 Rogues in stock are $3,000 off, and you get 0.9% interest for 60 months. All 2019 Altimas in stock are $5,000 off, and you get 2.9% interest for 60 months. And we've got over 100 new Rogues and Altimas to choose from. At Kraft Nissan, Pathfinders and Muranos are up to $8,000 off. And Titans, with America's best truck warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles bumper to bumper, are up to $12,000 off. Seriously, at Kraft Nissan, Memorial Day savings are today and every day this month, with huge savings all month long. Plus, Nissan is blowing away the competition with special low interest rates and rebates. You get both. No wonder Tallahassee is a Nissan town, a Kraft Nissan town. In Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Interest rates with approved credit through NMAC.
Whidden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Whidden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Whidden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Whidden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Whidden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Don't start your day off with the same old boring breakfast. Stop by the Bagel Market and Bistro on Thomasville Road and the Persimmon Hills Shopping Plaza. They have fresh baked bagels and cream cheese every Monday for only $1.50. Green smoothies and great salads like the spinach apple salad. Muffins and cinnamon rolls are also options for breakfast. Sandwiches, salads, and more for lunch and dinner. Open 7 days a week. Check them out online at thebagelmarketandbistro.com or on Facebook and give them a call at 765-0598.
Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram is the Jeep headquarters of America. We've purchased over 100 Jeep Renegades, and they've all arrived and are on the lot for immediate delivery. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude with MSRP starting at $25,120, on sale now for $18,870. That's a savings of $6,250. A new Jeep starting at only $18,870. Those prices are unheard of and can only be found at your Jeep headquarters of America, Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. No other dealer can offer you this kind of savings. We buy in mass quantities and pass along the savings to you. 2018 Jeep Renegade Latitude, starting at $18,870. Payments as low as $299 a month. On the corner of West Tennessee and Capitol Circle, where we're right on the corner and always right on the price. Check us out on the web at TallahasseeDCJ.com. All prices include rebates and incentives plus tax, title, and dealer fee. State number 18J605. Must finance through Chrysler Capital and qualify for all rebates and incentives.
Thursdays are Friday Eve, and that's a reason to celebrate. No matter what you're looking for, they've got you covered every Thursday down in College Town. Centrale offers 50% off select pizzas all day, every Thursday. Or you can stop by Township for Taco Thursday. $2 house tacos, $2. Madison Social offers the Social Agreement. You and a buddy can split 1 order of wings, 2 Madso burgers, 2 bourbons, 2 proof Madison Socials, all for just $40. See what they did there? And don't worry about parking. Plenty of spaces available in the parking deck or surrounding lots. Check out all the Thursday College Town deals right now on ThursdaysInCollegetown.com.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Round 1 of the 101st PGA Championship today at Bethpage Black in New York, and the defending champ is out to a great start. Brooks Koepka with a course record 63. He's the leader at 7 under. Tiger Woods started his round with a double bogey and finished with a 2 over 72. Game 2 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals tonight in Oakland. The Warriors lead the Trailblazers 1-0. Coverage at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio, TV, and the app. Zion Williamson's stepfather, Lee Anderson, tells 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge that Williamson hasn't considered going back to Duke. ESPN's Tim Legler says Williamson could be very happy if he goes to New Orleans.
He's going to find an incredible connection, I believe, to Alvin Gentry, who is one of the easiest guys in the world to be around and connect with in the way he communicates with players.
Tim Legler on Golick and Wingo. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Cardinals corner Patrick Peterson will be suspended for the first 6 games of the NFL season for violating the league's PED policy.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Man, I just got depressed during the break. I was watching video of Bruce Willis throwing out the first pitch, the Phillies game last night. Pitiful.
Time has not been kind, or he just was a bad throw.
Bruce looked good for a long, long time, man. He handled going bald gracefully. He was kind of him and a few other guys were my idol, understanding when it was time to shave, it was time to shave. And he, I've always looked up to him in that way. He was looking old last night. He's 64, and that's the thing. These people are out of the, you only see them in movies, but then years go by, and then you see him again, and you're like, oh, okay.
Boy, he's that old, huh?
Yeah, he short-armed the hell out of this. It's a terrible throw, and the Philly fans just booed the bejesus out of him.
Good. That's where one time we're Philly, you are correct.
They booed him.
Where'd he throw it from?
About 55 feet away.
So is it the front of the mound, the base of the mound?
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
It's not 50 Cent bad, though.
Well, that's impossible. Nobody can do as bad as he did. There have been a few that are. That's not even a throw. What is that? I don't know.
If I were him, I would have said, well, I've been shot 8 times, and so there are bullets that are in my shoulder, and so it's hard for me to throw.
He handled it gracefully, but it's got to be tough, man. Just basically booed off the field after hopping it up there. He's a Philadelphia. He's not a Philadelphia native. Philadelphia area native. I guess somewhere around Philadelphia.
So he's from Jersey.
I don't know where he's from, but he threw the first pitch and it wasn't good. But I got sad because I saw the evidence, not of a weak throw. Lots of people get scared, get jitters when they're out there. It happens. I threw 2 at FSU and one bounced. I was embarrassed. Another one was spot on.
He was born in West Germany.
Oh, well, there you go.
Walter Bruce Willis. Walter Willis wouldn't have done as good in the box office as Bruce.
I just like the fact that he was a bartender in New York City, and he was with, what's his name? Walter. Goodman.
John Goodman.
He and John Goodman were roommates in New York City together when neither of them had a...
I knew he was a bartender. I didn't know that was his roommate,
yeah,
John Goodman.
They were roommates. They were buddies, and they would hang out. God. Imagine the fun you would have had at a bar in which John Goodman and Bruce Willis were bartending.
So, okay, Willis's dad was in the military. When they moved back to Carneys Point Township, New Jersey. Yep, Philadelphia area. There you go. Half of Jersey loves New York, half of Jersey loves Philly.
You got it. You nailed it. So his situation was similar to my situation. That's why I was born in Holland. Dad was in the military. That's how that works. Brooks Koepka with a day with a 63 -7. My goodness gracious. And then there's Danny Lee. And as soon as you heard that Sports Center a moment ago, as Danny Lee is 5 under currently, you go, who the hell is Danny Lee?
He's one of those 80 dudes that Brooks Koepka is not afraid of.
That is correct. Danny Lee is not going to win this tournament, so you can dismiss him. Tommy Fleetwood could, though. He shot a 67 today. He was good. He's 4 shots off the lead. Other names here, look at that. On a long course. What are you doing, Jordan Spieth, hanging in there? Where did this come from? He's a 2 under. He's only played 9. We'll see.
He would have to not play in the same group as Brooks on Sunday, though.
Oh, how much do you want him to be in that final group, to watch the wilting, to see the fear wash over his face?
I can't beat him, Mike.
You haven't teed off yet. It's hole number one.
You have the same amount of majors, dude.
Get it together
You've
already.
Been number one for longer than he's ever been number one.
Why
man.
do you do this? You say this all the time. You say it about guys that aren't named Brooks Koepka. Like the other day, you said, I just can't beat Patton Kazire. Stop doing that.
I just can't do it. The ball's not going where I think it's going to go.
Stop telling me you can't beat Jason Hadley. Can we? It's all right.
But it's not my fault. It never is.
I'm telling you, you can beat Kelly Craft. I promise it. He's never won anything.
Maybe 1 round out of 4 I could.
You'll beat J.B. Holmes. I'm sure of it. Get it together.
The green glove.
We'll see. But bravo, man. It is really cool to watch Brooks Koepka in command of a golf course, in command of his game, and moreover, in command of his emotions, which is something that you clearly see. It's evident. It's all over his body language.
One thing we know about Brooks, just from getting some behind-the-scenes insights, as you do, obviously, a radio show. When now is it? It's
Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock on the PGA Tour Network, Sirius XM.
So when it was renewed, it was renewed again, so you can expect it to be right there.
Same time slot, yep.
West Coast drive time.
Can you believe? Yeah, it's rush hour in L.A. when we're on. And we're on in that's what I mean. We're on in Los Angeles. It's beautiful. But I would tell you this. It is cool. That's 4 years now. I can't believe the time has flown past.
One thing that I've learned about Brooks, certainly, is that the week leading up to a major, when he's playing in a given tournament, and he was contending last weekend, he has no interest in winning that particular tournament. All he's doing is he wants tournament rounds to work on things that are necessary for the major. So even though you might think, well, he wants to win regular tournaments now much more because he said as much, not the week before the major. So he might have won the Byron Nelson last week by accident, working on stuff for the PGA Championship.
Tiger used to do that. Tiger would be working on ball flight and certain things like that and hitting certain shots to mimic a course or the type of shot he's going to have to hit from that distance the following week or 2 weeks from where he was at the time. And the next thing you know, he had the lead, and he's like, well, I might as well win it. I mean, because he did care about winning it. I mean, if you got to a Sunday, he's like, oh, well, all right, y'all going to let me win it. Working on my game. That's the thing that, okay, so when you talk to people about assessing the greatest, the label, the greatest of all time, they'll do this thing where they bring up, obviously it's Jack and Tiger. That's the great debate. But one of the things that gets brought up a lot about the world's best players, the players that are all-time transcendently great and are worthy of the discussion, is that they're the precious few that can beat you when they're not playing well. Their games are so good that they can beat you with their B game, occasionally beat you and win a tournament with their B-C+ game because they do something so well, so exceedingly well, that they're able to overcome whatever weakness that week they have, such as driving accuracy or short game problems. Then another element of their game would rise up, be that putting. They make a slew of yardage, make up a slew of yardage on the greens in terms of distance of putts made.
So if you're like 60 feet and you got some holes to go, ooh, Jesus, you made 60 feet of putts.
So it's weird, you go back and Jack was capable of beating people when he wasn't playing well. You couldn't be playing awful, but just an element of his game was off and he could still win it. He could find a way to get it around the track and make birdie putts.
The aforementioned year that Jordan Spieth blew the Masters, he almost did it. He was on the cusp of winning, and he looked like crap, really.
Yeah, he was just finding ways to put himself in a position. And it's a little bit like, I think the comparison is to a pitcher who really learns. I should probably turn my phone ringer off. A pitcher who figures out how to get guys out when he doesn't have his fastball or location problems with one of his 3 pitches that he normally throws for strikes. So now they figure by the 3rd inning, they know I can't throw this pitch for a strike. I'm a 2-pitch guy tonight. But experience, chutzpah, the ability to understand hitters, situations, they find a way to muscle through 6 1/3 and give their team a chance to win. That's true of these great, great golfers. And I want to see, do we get that from Brooks? Because when Brooks is great, he's really great. He's dominant great. He's in control of his emotions. He brings courses to its knees with his length. He hits it straight, and so it's just a matter of making some putts at that point. I want to see him put together those rounds where doesn't have it. He's not as good off the tee as he ordinarily is, and he still guts a 68. And then that's when, because Tiger did that all the time. And when you start talking about getting into those categories of I'm the best player in the world, then you are capable of doing those kinds of things. You find ways to get it around and score even when you don't have it. And that's mental toughness and confidence. It's all that stuff.
If I recall, I'm trying to find it. I'll pull it up and see if I can grab it. But Brooks on Saturday at the U.S. Open last year was kind of all over the place a little bit. But he kept it together enough to have the final pairing, the right to the final pairing on Sunday out at Shinnecock. There were a couple of moments, and some of it was the course was just playing so terribly. Remember, it came up, it was its own storyline that they lost the course again in the third round of last year's U.S. Open. But he scrambled his butt off. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, one of the great putts he's ever made was when he went into the bunker intentionally over the green, and he's trying to make bogey, and he ends up holing out from whatever it is, like 30, 35 feet. I mean, he can do that now. He can scramble a little bit.
Right. No, I'm saying if that ends up being the case, and he's doing that on the regular, I mean, he'll be the number one player in the world for a while.
The short par 4 in the front 9 today was 392 or 396. So he and Tiger both are hitting iron off the tee, and he and Tiger both go wayward. And so Brooks went in the rough on the right-hand side, and he was buried in the rough. And then he went into the bunker after that, had a terrible time of it, chips it about 15 feet long. And he's got a 15-footer for par. And it was the first time he faced adversity all day. If he had a bogey in that situation, you'd say, oh, that's no big deal. You're still 5 under, Brooks. Mm-hmm. But he holds it in that moment. It's just he fortifies momentum. He builds it, and then he fortifies it by not making big mistakes.
Remember all the cool putts, going back to that first U.S. Open that he won, I remember a series of 8 to 12 footers that were just center of the cup. And I think people thought at that moment, well, now it's his tournament. But I remember how dejected everybody was because they're like, oh, wait, you're going to do that too? You're going to hit it further than all of us, but now you're going to start draining a bunch of putts?
Right.
Well, and that's, Tiger Woods did that all the time. It's really cool. I like watching a guy kind of come to fruition, right? Come into his own and begin to not only believe, obviously, confidence is such a overriding factor. And I learned that from my friend Trey Jones, who is now
segue.
How about that? On the hotline, making his way in. Head coach of Florida State University Golf. It's Trey Jones. Hey, Trey.
Hey, Jeff. How are you? Hey, Tom.
What's going on, Coach?
I'm good. Hey. So, first of all, welcome back. I'm sorry I'm talking to you right now. You should be preparing for more golf. But hey, now, I don't say that to be crass. I just say that because to finish one stroke short has got to be infinitely frustrating. How are you handling it? How'd the team handle it? I know you're proud of those guys either way, but talk to me a little bit about regionals there.
Yeah, it was a tough one for sure. This one stings when, college golf is we go out and we play and count 4 scores for 3 rounds. So you have 12 rounds of golf, which is thousands of shots, and comes down to one at the end. One falls short, and it's easy for every team. Every round everybody can go out and say, I should have done this, should have done that. But it is what it is, and you just got to get better. And it does hurt, though, because we had some things we felt like we just kind of let get away from us.
I know that there will be lessons learned there. Some of your best players, struggled in some cases. Other young ones rose. So you got a little bit of everything to work with there. But let's segue here because I don't want to dwell on that. And I do want to ask you about Brooks Koepka, who went today and shot a 63. And through you, I've learned a lot about who he is and confident and tough. As in one tough SOB is Brooks Koepka. And when he's mad or there's a perceived chip on the shoulder, I think he plays better. Am I wrong about that?
Oh, you're exactly right, Jeff. And today for me, and we actually flew back early this morning, so I got to see some of it. And I think it was a statement today. He's just tired of people talking about Tiger, people talking about other people. He's never been a people guy of watching other guys. And I mentioned the story to you one time. He was playing with Ricky Fowler in college, and we're on the van ride to the hotel after the round. I said, how Ricky do today? How did he look? And he goes, he wasn't very good. Ricky had shot 65 in bad weather, and he'd given Ricky no attention at all. Like, didn't know he was out there, doesn't pay attention. So I think all the extra attention on Tiger and whatever else. I just think that was a statement he made today.
So what's the trick? I always wonder this because we see it happen to so many pros, dominant pros even, and I guess I'll pick your brain. Why is it so hard to back up? First of all, golf is difficult. I get that answer. But why, when you see guys go really low, and he went really low today with a 63, why is it so hard to back up the next day? We're talking to the casual golf fan who may not understand that, but it happens a lot that guys go 63 and turn around and shoot 72. Why is that?
Well, Jeff, I think it happens to the guy that breaks 80 for the first time, and you've done that and gone out the next day and said, where did it go? There's just a lot of percentages in golf, and over a 72-hole tournament, if you look at it overall, then Brooks is probably going to make somewhere in the neighborhood of 16 birdies, 18 birdies. Well, he might have made 7 of those today. So tomorrow could be a completely different day. And he knows that going in. The problem you get into is saying, well, yesterday at this point, I was X, and today I'm this. And then your mind starts to go in the wrong direction. And like I said, even if it's a casual golfer and you broke 80 the first day and you shot, yesterday and you shot 40, and then you go out and you're 5 or 6 over early on, you say, well, wait a minute, I was only 2 over here yesterday. And you just start wearing on your brain and understanding that over the long term, you're going to make so many birdies, you're going to make so many bogeys. You just don't know where they're going to come. They could come on the first 4 holes or the last 4 holes.
I'll preface this question with this information, which you already know, but this for our listeners. He's won 3 of the last 7 majors that he's contested. If he makes it 4 out of 8, he will be the first to do that since Tiger Woods won 4 majors from 2005 to 2006, the 2005-2006 seasons. Why is it he is so good, specifically in majors? What is it about his makeup that makes him better than anybody playing the game right now when it comes to major championships?
Well, just knowing Brooks is so hard on himself, and he doesn't look like it on the golf course, but he is brutal on himself at practice. And I can remember standing up there with him at different events or at home and just so frustrated at his ball, and you're looking at it going, that looks perfect. And it's just a little right or a little left. And because he puts so much on himself there, that I think when he gets in these situations, it's easier for him. The harder you make practice, the easier you make the other deal. But you and I have talked about it as sports fans a lot. Reggie Jackson did not hit better in October, did he?
No.
I just think the other guys go the other way, and he just does his deal.
He hinted at it that much at the press conference. A lot of people got on him about how brash or cocky he was at the press conference, but he really was just reiterating something that Jack said a long time ago, which is that he thought at times winning majors was easier than winning other tournaments because before you even tee it up on number 1, half the field's eliminated. They can't in their mind picture themselves actually winning that tournament. Brooks is the opposite.
Yeah, are you talking about the guy that you and I talked to in the Butler cabin?
At the Masters, that's correct.
That's not the Butler cabin, but in his place. Yeah, that place. Yeah,
Jack, yeah, that's right. We didn't bring up that specific subject at the time, but it was great to talk to him with you at right there next to Butler cabin at the Masters. I agree. And you talked to him.
Me well.
Yes, I have. But that said, so he's talking about half the field's eliminated before they tee it up. And he said that, Brooks said that, and he's echoing Jack, saying that, look, some guys just can't picture themselves actually winning a major, so they're eliminated before it starts. Now you got it down to about 40 guys you got to beat. Well, of those 40, let's say half are going to play pretty well, but have never won a major, so they're kind of out of it. Now we got it down to 20 guys. Of those 20 guys on a Sunday, how many of them have been in that pressure cooker and won a major? Maybe 7 to 10. All right, now I got to beat 10 people. So that he kind of gave us a glimpse of the way he thinks about these tournaments before he ever teed it up today.
That's exactly right, and that's him assuming that he's going to have control of what he's doing, and you don't always have that. Golf's a hard game, but if he's playing like he thinks he can play, then there is a small group of people at that point in time, and I think we can all point them out to where they're going to go. But wow, I'm just really impressed the way he walked out there today in a group that people are talking about him and this, that, and the other, and he's getting more media attention, and just to go out and play golf like that was really impressive.
Well, Trey, I'm going to help him out, just being a good Knoll that I am and that you are. Maybe we should just send slights via text on a regular basis to Brooks before a major. I'll just say, I'm not so sure about you this week, Brooks. I think you're a little shaky. I don't see it. I don't think you have the game this week. Or I'll attribute an erroneous quote to Brandel Chambly.
Yeah. Well, remember the last time you questioned him to Drew, my son, and he got all personal on you. So
yeah, so
I did text him this morning. Good luck, and he's just as normal as he can be. And right now, if you're around him, I think one of the interesting things being around Brooks is at this point in time, people wonder what he's doing. It's no golf. You can't talk about golf. He doesn't want to hear about golf. He's not doing anything with it. He's done his physio stuff or been stretched out, and probably looking forward to watching basketball tonight.
I was going to say, what does he do on his downtime? Because you got a lot of it now, and you're going to be sitting on the lead. I doubt anybody's going to catch him today. Maybe somebody will. Danny Lee's got a shot, I guess. But, what would he do? Just relax, get some rest, watch some basketball?
Well, they're setting their body clocks for their next day for tomorrow. So they're going to eat he's got a chef there, and they'll eat at a certain time, and he'll make sure he's going to sleep at the time they get to the course before a round is crazy. And, there's just so much that goes into it, from allowing for traffic, especially where they are. They will have a house rented near, but they'll do that. But they've got to have a physio guy to go get them loose, and that takes a while. And that's not really as much as a workout as someone stretching them out and doing some massage work on them. And that's probably a 45-minute deal. Then they get out to do their short game stuff, their bunker stuff. You can see that on the TV of how much time they spend in those areas before they hit golf balls. The golf balls is the easiest part. That's only probably 20, 25 minutes. But then they'll have some autograph time, and then they got to get to their deal. So they're just kind of presetting their clock right now to get into that mode. But I do remember being with Jonas Blix and Brooks at Augusta one time, and I wanted to talk about the golf course because I was excited about it and the way they played, and they just like to say, Coach, we don't want to talk about golf. Okay.
I always forget, but it should be noted for our listeners, of course, Jonas Blix, also a Knoll, finished runner-up at the Masters. And there you were with him. And so, you've had some guys with great experience in these major championships and incredible moments to reflect back on, and different types of personalities that can get it done. You've told me this, so it's redundant for you and I, but it's not for our listeners. Brooks is unique in the sense that you just mentioned it a little bit. He's not a geek about golf. He doesn't really, he loves the game, he loves the work, but he's not a golf head. He's not a guy watching other golfers like you just noted. When he's not playing in a tournament, he's not sitting at home watching the tournament. He gets away, really gets away from it, right?
Oh, no question. He's not a golf fan at all in that regard. He just, he would never do that. And when he gets home, he can put the clubs up, and a guy like DJ can't, and he'll tell me that. He said, no, DJ is a golf nerd. He's all about golf, and you wouldn't think DJ would be.
No.
But he's just golf every day, loves it. That's just what he does. And Brooks will he'll throw him in the closet for a little bit and go do some different stuff. And I think it goes back to Brooks' confidence. He tells it's true. He just says, I know I can hit the ball. I know I can hit it good. Why do I need to go do that? I know what I'm doing. So
It's so cool to keep
simple.
It that simple, Trey. It's easier for some people than others. That's a tough deal. I have a quick question for you, and then we have to go to break. And it may not mean anything if he doesn't follow it up, but I'm sure you took stock today that Brooks beat Masters champion Tiger Woods by 9 strokes in a single round. That's just kind of cool to say out loud. Molinari too, 9 strokes.
And I think it goes back to. There's mind games out there, and you hear Rory talk about it, and I think I've had some information that would said that the one person Tiger asked Joe LaCava about on 10 or 11 at Augusta was what Brooks doing, and I think that just confirmed right there that Tiger knows right now after that round that it's not in his hands.
The interesting quote from Tiger Woods today when asked about Brooks's round, he played really well. He hit a couple of loose shots today that ended up in good spots, but overall, I think he was probably shooting the highest score he could have shot today. He could have gone even lower. That's respect, huh?
That's a guy that definitely respects him, and I don't know how you couldn't at this point in time to go out and do what he's done, like you said, in the last 8 majors.
Well, and Trey, the last 6 rounds at the PGA Championship for Brooks Koepka, I'm sure you've seen this stat. All of them are in the 60s. 2 of them are 63. He's the first person to have done that twice in the championship's 101-year history. So this is historical what he just did.
And this is Bethpage. I mean, you can't make that place easy. You can't. I mean, it's so hard. I had my team there 2 years ago, and they quit after 7 holes.
Wow.
Now, they had just played 18 holes on another course, and they were probably tired, but it was so hard that I was looking at it going, oh, my gosh, where do you hit the ball here? And I went on the shot thing to see how he played, a few of the holes today, and it was 310 off the tee, 180 yards into the green. You're saying, wow, that's 500-yard hole, and he's hit driver 8-iron, driver 7-iron. So it's what you and I talk about a lot with some of those guys that can get up on top of a golf course, which means just the way they drive it, then they change the golf hole, they change everything, and it's not fair for someone to be back there with a 6-iron where he and DJ and Rory and Jason Day will hit it.
In a second, I'm going to ask you about the course that you and Jack are building over there. but first, Tom wants to ask you a question. Tom, go ahead.
What's up, Coach? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, really good, because I watched every hole of that round today. I've got a question for you on Brooks's mindset. I know what the answer should be. You focus on your own business, but I wonder if Brooks takes this to heart. So on a par 3 on the backside today, it's 230. Tiger hits a 4-iron, sticks it to, 12 feet, 15 feet. Brooks answers. Tiger got to tee off first. So Brooks answers. He hits it to 18 feet, and he makes the putt right in Tiger's face, and Tiger misses. Does Brooks feed off of that moment the way a fan of Brooks would?
I don't think so. I think it's shot by shot at that point in time. He might have, if he's played with Tiger enough, he could have gotten an idea of the ball flight or they have their numbers down so well that probably wasn't going to determine the club he hit. I don't think it would determine where he was going to. Brooks has made the point to me, too, though, that when you're playing good, you got to step on it sometimes, and you got to ride it. And when you're not playing well, you have to be a little more conservative. So he, in that regard, within himself, he might have put the pedal down a little bit. But I don't think any external thing would have, like Tiger would have dictated it.
Well, the reason I ask it is because Tiger was starting to press and push and close the gap a little bit. And I know it's about the leaderboard. It's not about who's in your group. But it just seemed to me like that was kind of Brooks's answer that, all right, Tiger, back in your hole for
enough
today.
of you. Well, Brooks admitted today, Coach, that he thought it was one of, if not the best round of golf he's ever shot.
Oh, wow.
That was a quote from him today. He says, that is one of, if not the best rounds I've ever played as a professional. He needed just 25 putts. He went on to say, this golf course is brutal, to echo what you just said. It tests every asset of your game. You've got to drive the ball straight. It's so long. You've got to hit it far and be in position with some of these shots. You can't take a shot off, and that's what I love about this course. And that reveals mindset, too. He's stepping to the challenge and enjoying the fact that every asset, or every facet, of his golf game is being tested.
It's probably a good thing, too, though, for him, that you can't take a shot off, that it's got his full attention at all times, because the guys that hit it that good can drift. But I do find it hard to believe that he feels like that's better than his 65 or 64 he had at Southwood. That's really surprising.
Always a pleasure, brother. I'll talk to you later. Thanks, Coach.
All right, take care. Thanks.
It's Trey Jones, head golf coach, Florida State, who's had his fair share of guys that have come through Florida State that he recruited and coached that have gone on to do great things on the tour. Of course, none better right now than Brooks Koepka, who's got 3 majors in and in a lead right now and another. And the numbers are staggering. If he's leading, if the numbers stay as they are now and he ends up leading on the day, he will have had the lead at a major championship, this particular major championship, for 3 straight rounds. Had the 54-hole lead last year. Mm-hmm. So anybody at the PGA Championship want to step up and challenge Brooks Koepka? It doesn't feel like it.
No, and that's where I know what the stock answer is, that you got to focus on your own rounds. But since Brooks wants to make a statement, and quiet people, when Tiger gets it from, a 6-shot margin down to a 4 or whatever it was, And then he sticks it, and you're like, ooh, here's some momentum for my guy over here. And then you get a chance to putt first, and you make the putt. I'll bet that's just a little bit sweeter. He's got to go focus on what he needs to do, but I'll bet he has a little smirk inside in a moment like that.
The oddity here, though, I will say that he's not going to make that many. I mean, he's 25 putts. That's not going to continue.
I know, but he missed a lot from inside 12 feet. Tiger is right about that. He could have shot 60 or 61 today, easily.
Well, by the way, that compliment, Tiger's saying that. He didn't have to say that. He can keep that to himself. But he decides to throw that out there because he respects the hell out of Brooks Koepka.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Over a board game, darts, or shuffleboard, Tallahassee's premier spot to enjoy local and Florida craft brews is the 7th Hill Tap Room, 2475 Appalachia Parkway, right underneath the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, where Memorial Day savings started May 1st with May Holiday Bonus Cash, Frontier and Titan Red Tag Truck Cash. And at Kraft Nissan, you get special interest rates and huge rebates. You get both. The other guys, you only get one rate or rebate. So listen up. All 2019 Rogues in stock are $3,000 off, and you get 0.9% interest for 60 months. All 2019 Altimas in stock are $5,000 off, and you get 2.9% interest for 60 months. And we've got over 100 new Rogues and Altimas to choose from. At Kraft Nissan, Pathfinders and Muranos are up to $8,000 off. And Titans, with America's best truck warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles bumper to bumper, are up to $12,000 off. Seriously, at Kraft Nissan, Memorial Day savings are today and every day this month, with huge savings all month long. Plus, Nissan is blowing away the competition with special low interest rates and rebates. You get both. No wonder Tallahassee is a Nissan town, a Kraft Nissan town. In Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Interest rates with approved credit through NMAC.
Take me out to the ball game.
Indeed. And with weather like this, it's good to see you out on this magnificent, sizable deck.
It is quite impressive. You can see it all the way from the stadium.
What a deck. What a deck indeed.
I hear that a lot.
You know, I remember, what was it, mid-90s you opened up? Place was so small.
Now it's huge.
All I know is a lot of good times have been spent on this deck. Man, people enjoy it. They laugh, they sing, they drink, they eat, and they celebrate all the goodness of the Gordo's deck.
And you can come have a Gordo Smash.
Delicious. Sitting on the deck with a Gordo Smash. That's a good day at the office.
Or put a Cuban in your mouth.
And other food. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Hendrick.
It's the Hendrick Memorial Day sales event all month long at Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC. Save big on over 200 new Buick and GMC cars, trucks, and SUVs. We are professional grade. DaleJr.BuickGMC.com.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with easy laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's easy laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Round one of the 101st PGA Championship today at Bethpage Black in New York, and the defending champ is out to a great start. Brooks Koepka with a course record 63. He's the leader at 7 under. Tiger Woods started his round with a double bogey and finished with a 2 over 72. Game 2 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals tonight in Oakland. The Warriors lead the Trailblazers 1-0. Coverage at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio, TV, and the app. Zion Williamson's stepfather, Lee Anderson, tells 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge that Williamson hasn't considered going back to Duke. ESPN's Tim Legler says Williamson could be very happy if he goes to New Orleans.
He's going to find an incredible connection, I believe, to Alvin Gentry, who is one of the easiest guys in the world to be around and connect with in the way he communicates with players.
Tim Legler on Golic and Wingo. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Cardinals corner Patrick Peterson will be suspended for the first 6 games of the NFL season for violating the league's PED policy.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Should do this. Went long right there with my man Trey Jones, which I appreciate. Thank you, Coach. He's not kidding about the amount of rounds and to come up one shot short. Damn it, man. That hurts. That's a team that could have played better, and I think that will sting for a while. But let's just say it. I mean, I praise the man. John Pack is a great, great player, but he did not provide a very good effort there in the and I mean, listen, he didn't want to play poorly, but damn it, man.
No, so I was watching Golf Stat, and I know the team somewhat just from the
because you watch on Golf Stat all the time, yeah.
But I know their names. I couldn't pick Grayson Porter out of a lineup, but again, for that dude to shoot a 3 under 69 with an 8 on the third hole, that's a quad.
So imagine that's a 7. They're in a playoff. If John Pack just goes anywhere near his scoring average, anywhere near it.
Well, but I get it. I mean, you always look at where you could get the one shot. But for that kid who came in,
mental, how tough you got to be.
He was only active for the third round, so it's like, okay, we need a jump start here. We need you to put up a number, and then you go out. He's 1 under after 2, and he makes an 8 on 3. Oh my God! I mean, the nerves you have to respond to not make any more bogeys the rest of the day, and to shoot a 69 with a quad. That is ridiculous. Good for that kid. Hope it propels him into next year.
We mentioned it earlier, the season opener set for prime time on ESPN. Florida State at Boise State, over in Jacksonville. Against Boise State is a better way of phrasing that. 7 o'clock and on ESPN. So I'm looking forward to that. But that led us to this and a lot of questions from you guys. And they all had to do with W's and L's, including a W's and L's birthday request for an individual listening to the show. He said, hey, how about some W's and L's for my birthday? So happy birthday, and let's do some W's and L's. L's. Wins.
All right. How you doing?
Losses.
Damn it! We lost! We f***ing super lost, man!
Where do we triumph? Where doth thou fall? Every time I hear that sound clip, I think of two things. Give me the map, A, when he snatches it. And two, they can't make that movie now. Even though there was nothing wrong with the brand of humor, I just don't think they would dare make that movie. Now, that's Tropic Thunder. That's Robert Downey Jr.'s character.
It's not that long ago that they made it.
I'm telling you, I think they would be hard-pressed to get the okay on that. I do. And it's a hilarious movie.
It's a classic.
And his portrayal is incredible. It's unbelievable.
Everybody's good in that. Kenny Powers, Nick Nolte.
They're all good. Everybody's good. Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
At the very end, yeah. Ben's good. Everybody's good. Here we go. W's and L's. You heard the sound. Are you ready, Tom? Now, this changes. This is fluid. If you're new to the show, we do this every year. But we're all football starved. Why not go through the schedule, especially now that we know that they're playing at 7 o'clock at TIAA Bank Field over in Jacksonville. Then again, 5 o'clock, Doak Campbell Stadium against ULM. And then on the ACC Network, Scott Stadium in beautiful Charlottesville, Virginia, September the 14th, 7:30 p.m. Something about having the times of those games kind of kickstarts your love for the W's and L's.
It's because you can formulate raw plans in your mind. You can map out the day. Makes it more real.
I agree. So we're over in Jacksonville. We're complaining about the heat while we tailgate. Or maybe not. Maybe you're doing something with our friends at Madison Social as they've procured an indoor tailgate site. More information on that in the future, but I talked with Matt, and he's excited that they've been able to find a place right by the stadium, air-conditioned, more room than you could possibly need.
They got beverage tickets and stuff.
Oh,
I heard unlimited beverage tickets for the Sports Monster.
Oh, I love it. Well, it makes sense that we would get that. Thanks for the unlimited tickets, Matt. I appreciate it. All right, here we go. Game number 1, Florida State. The dawn of a new day. They beat Boise State. They do so by 2 touchdowns. I give them a 66% chance of victory against Boise State. Are we doing percentages, or are we just going straight up W or L?
How do you want to do it?
Let's do straight up W or L. I'm not going to give any more percentages. Just straight up W's and L's. That's a big W to start the year. 1-0, baby.
Before the spring game, I would have said an L. After the spring game...
Oh, we have revision number 1 from T. Lizzie. He was so hard on us during the last W's and L's segment. I think he had us at 5-7 again or something terrible like that.
8 or 9 wins.
It was something weak.
I am going to give us a W against Boise State.
All right, make sure you were putting these in the vault. We always go back and look at these. We have the vault. W. ULM, Florida State moves to 2-0 on the young season, and chatter begins that Willie's got it turned around.
Like Brooks Koepka being partnered and paired with Jordan Spieth. Easy win.
Easy win. Now we're taking it on the road. First ACC game of the year. The pressure of playing before a national audience thanks to the all-new ACC Network. On the road.
Well, I'm thankful we could get those ACC Network jitters out of the way, with the ULM game. That's our first ACC Network game, so we can work through
those jitters out of there, buddy.
Those
Get those jitters the hell out of there, buddy.
Big-time jitters.
Well, it's tough. The ACC Network is what it is. By the way, on that side note, FSU versus Boise State tailgate, 27,000 square feet of air-conditioned awesomeness. Yes, $25 gets you 2 drinks and food and air conditioning. That's not a lot of money. That's an easy answer.
Absolutely.
You should do it. Got the update from Matt there. And he did confirm we have unlimited drink tickets.
Hey, all right.
Thanks, Matt.
27,000 square feet of awesomeness.
Yeah. All I care about those free drink tickets. So, Virginia, 7:30. Scott Stadium. A lot of uppity folk making loud noises.
Talking about 95 and such.
Oh, yes. Resist the urge to say Warwick Dunn was in. Pick it.
I stand with Epps, not Jefferson. We win the game.
Whoa, 3-0 on the young season. Tom Lang is buoyed. What a moment for the ACC Network to get to see Florida State knock off Virginia on the road. And
what a time to be alive!
And announce that they are back. That will only further amplify the stakes as Louisville and their new head coach comes to town the following week. Oh, by the way, I didn't give you an answer. I got us with a W as well, 3-0. What are we doing here, Tom Lang?
Stand with Epps against Jefferson.
You can't do that. Louisville rolls to town. No chance. Year number 1. Program's in disarray. Forget about it. Florida State wins by 3 touchdowns.
One of the few programs entering the season in the ACC that's a bigger mess than we are, but it's true.
4-0.
Dubsky.
Woo! The always pesky and annoying North Carolina State makes their way to town, Doak Campbell Stadium, September the 28th, and Florida State gets win number 5 on the season. We'll have an undefeated squad making their way to Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina after they knock off NC State and move to 3-0 in the ACC.
This one is the rabbit out of the hat victory for Florida State. We're very shaky. We're new expectations. They feel the weight of being undefeated.
Top 10.
But it's okay because we have a defensive stand late to hold on and beat NC State.
My goodness. That is elevating Harlan Barnett stature around these parts, too.
People are feeling good about these coaches.
Oh, man. How many at this point through 5 games, given the competition, how many points a game are we averaging under Kendall Briles in the new offense? And remember, we're going to skew the total because of the ULM game.
Yeah, I'd say if you throw out the ULM game, 32.4 points a game.
Lighten it up. I'm going to go with his career average over the last however many years. We're averaging exactly 34 points a game at this point of the season. All right, so we both got the team at undefeated status, national media darlings. But the comeuppance will happen. We're a little bit of fool's gold. We're like most Miami teams. Winning games, the record tells you one thing, but the reality of the situation is it's really a lie.
Yeah, like in this millennium, all Miami teams.
Every Miami
for one
team that maybe starts decently, and we hear the U is back, but the U is never back. And then there's some moment where that is revealed. Well, that moment will be upon us Saturday, October the 12th, as we go to Memorial Stadium. In honor of the last time you and I drove up there for that game and how much fun we had at their expense, we'll do it again. And we go up there.
I got the mini cans of beer by mistake.
The mini cans of beer.
In the media lot.
I like that we were so bold as to drink in the media lot.
And the guy in the golf cart.
Oh, he was pissed.
He was furious.
He's like, man, I'm here to give you a ride, guys. Put down the mini beers and let's go.
There's music here, man. Where there's music, there will be beer. And where there's music and beer, we will be.
Well, and then we're walking in, and we saw Candy on the parking lot drinking.
That's right.
We knew it was going to be a good night. All right, so Clemson beats us by more than 3 touchdowns, and we are humbled as we make the trip back to Tallahassee. First L of the year.
I think we might be up at the end of the first quarter, and everybody's like, oh, look at this.
How
it's
about
happening.
Florida State is turning it around?
And somebody picked the upset on ESPN's desk, maybe Desmond Howard, because he usually gets these things wrong. And everybody's saying, see, look at Florida State. And then we lose by 20, maybe 30.
The Bear wasn't fooled. He took Clemson minus the 10. He's feeling good.
We love you, Bear.
Then it's Wake Forest up at Winston-Salem, Snuggy Hill. We take it back on the road, and here's the game that I say raises an eyebrow.
Oh.
Florida State struggling on the road at Wake late in the fourth quarter, pulls it out 27-24 to get the W.
Oh, man, that sounds like a 3 or 4 turnover game where it's just you're moving down the field 20-20, but you don't cash in.
Red zone issues, Tom.
Yeah.
Red zone issues.
I give us a more comfortable win than that.
All right.
Dubsky.
Syracuse, everybody's darling last year, who laid the wood to us and made us look like we were a discombobulated mess, an embarrassment. We made terrible coaching decisions in this game. We didn't do anything well. Not a single thing well in this football game. A sad reminder, just seeing the S on the schedule pisses me off. As I recall, What an embarrassing situation we had up at the Carrier Dome a year ago. But this one's at Joe Campbell Stadium with revenge on the mind, and Florida State comes out with a big W.
This is a shootout. I think it's the first team to 42 wins. Thankfully, the Noles get to 42 first. A little 42-40 action for you.
Wow, man. I got us playing for the national title at this point. Goodness gracious. One loss on the road to number 1 Clemson. No shame. No shame there. All right, Miami. Should have lost each of the last 2 contests against Florida State. That streak ought to be at 9. I should be talking about Platinum Bohicans.
Jeez, what could have been?
Oh, what could have been? Imagine me running out of that tunnel with the Platinum Bohica.
Willie would have been. He would have approved it,
he
right?
He would have said, "Yeah, Cameron, come on, let's go.
Run through that tunnel.
Let's Platinum Bohica these boys." It would have been wiggling for all to see as I came out of
and
the tunnel.
And you could have presented it when they play the fight song at the end. Walk down between the band members.
How great would it have been? Took my life in my hands as we hopped into the vehicle to drive down to Miami and set out in front of their...
David Black definitely would have been okay with that.
Their 70-yard practice facility. We'll have to set that down there for him.
So midfield's at what, the 35?
Yeah, that's what we would have done. Run out to the 35 and set it down.
I have seats on the 35-yard line. This isn't Miami's practice facility.
Miami loses to Florida State, and the Noles keep their winning ways rolling. Bounce back strong with 3 straight victories after the loss to Clemson.
I don't know what to do here. I need to see the confidence in your eyes.
Oh, I'm confident. We're winning that game.
Look at you.
Think about this.
Look at you.
We sucked last year, and we were up 27-7.
72-point font W.
Boom.
Dubsky.
Boom.
Dubsky.
Boston College rolls into town. They've been a mess all year. Tough year for one of our favorite coaches in the league. But when you have to replace that much talent on offense and defense, that secondary not what it once was. Obviously, the offensive line decimated by graduation and draft. Florida State beats Boston College handily.
This one's going to hurt. They sneak up and they get us, those Boston College. The Dazio. It's not close enough for him to blow it down the stretch. We're licking our wounds from the Miami game. We won, but it's a physical rivalry game. Okay. And so now you're coming down from it. It's hard to get back up for the BC
Chestnut
Eagles.
Hill, yeah.
And so BC beats us in an ugly, cold game.
I don't like that, Tom, because we're going to be in attendance at Chestnut Hill, and that's going to be...
Oh, man, the travel
tough.
budget this year must be substantial.
I put a call into our folks in Bristol and said, listen, Cameron and Lang on the road. We don't ask for much these days, but the Cameron Lang tour is going on.
Can we play TPC Boston while we're at it?
Sure, I'll throw in for that one. I won't charge the company that one. Alabama, maybe I'll use my connections to the PGA Tour channel. We'll be good there. Alabama State is an easy win for us. We both agree on that. And then it's Florida at the end of the year, which is an L. So, I got us 10-2, folks, in May.
Woo, and we're fighting with me right now that this is 4-10-2 for the right to a double-digit win season.
You're going to say loss. So that's 9-3?
I am going to say loss.
Yeah.
9-3.
All right, 9-3.
With a lot of hope for most of the season.
So that's W's and L's for May the 16th. Who knows? In June, right around my birthday. Maybe just after Father's Day, not sure. We'll do it again, and I'll have a 7-5. Who knows? But right now, today in May, I got us to 10-2. Who's arguing with that, right? That's a celebration.
That's pretty fantastic.
You should just play this for a long time.
So you got us 10-2, losing just to Clemson in the conference.
Yeah, we beat the rest of our ACC
if Clemson
foes.
Slips up against Syracuse, and it gets really interesting.
You never really know. Yeah, it could happen. Could be for the marbles right there. That BC game could be huge.
I mean, what if Syracuse only losses to us, and then you got a three-way tie?
Got a three-way. Wow. Here we go. We got a three-way. Easy. Gets interesting.
It's not even football season yet.
Final hour forthcoming. Stay with.
One man come here to justify.
Sorry, boys. I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
For the 3-row 2019 Buick Enclave, up to $8,000 off. See us on Capitol Circle Northeast under the giant American flag, or shop DaleJuniorBuick.com.
Not all vehicles will qualify for maximum discount. Thus finance with GM Financial plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and dealer admin charge. See dealer for details.
We're back with a state champion. That's right, a state champion head coach. His name is Titus Nixon. He is the basketball coach at St. John Paul II Catholic High School. Coach, how long have you been involved with athletics at JP2?
So I've been involved for 8 years as a coach. I was an assistant, and then 2 years as the girls basketball coach, and then I just completed my 5th year as the boys basketball coach. I also spent my junior and senior years as a student at JP2 in the early years of the school's beginning.
What does it say, though, about the culture of an institution that you graduate from there almost 15 years ago, but here you are still spending your time back at that school?
I think it says a lot. The fact that my wife didn't graduate from JP2, but we both felt drawn back to help in some way. And we weren't even living in Tallahassee, and we always had this thought of, man, it would be so neat if I could go back and help in some way. And when I was named the coach 5 years ago, it was very special, and people thought I was crazy when I said in 5 years we're going to win a state championship. Maybe even I thought I was a little crazy, and it was just so cool to see the program develop over these last 5 years. And we've seen that in many of the sports at JP2. We have so many committed coaches, so many committed teachers that really lay it all on the line day in and day out to try to provide a great atmosphere and a lifelong positive experience for these students in their high school years.
Coach, thanks for your time. For more information about athletics, academics, student life, visit sjpiichs.org for St. John Paul II Catholic High School.
I'm Michael Blank, attorney with the law office of Jose Fernandez. If you've been in an accident, I know this can be a scary and confusing time. Our firm specializes in handling all types of accident and injury cases. Let us guide you through the process and get you the compensation you deserve. Call 855-HOSE-305 to make an appointment for your free consultation today. If you can't come to us, we can come to you, day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, the law office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid unless you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. Se habla español. JRFinjury.com.
Yuengling Golden Pilsner, a highly sessionable beer, golden in both name and color. Yuengling Golden Pilsner is the perfect balance of hop and malt character for crisp and smooth thirst-quenching refreshment. Cheer for your garnet and gold with Yuengling Golden Pilsner. Yuengling, brewing good times for 190 years. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. A message from local beverage distributor Triangle Sales.
And now, a quick comparison from Grasshopper. When a client calls, what do you want them to hear? Your personal voicemail?
Hey, you've reached Greg's cell phone. I'm away right now, obviously. Leave a message and maybe I'll get back to you.
Or something a little more buttoned up, courtesy of Grasshopper.
Thanks for calling Green Landscaping. To make an appointment, dial 1. For billing, dial 2. To speak with Greg Smith, dial
There's
3.
no contest. Put your best voice forward with Grasshopper, the virtual phone system for small business. Try it free at grasshopper.com.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, where Memorial Day savings started May 1st with May Holiday Bonus Cash, Frontier and Titan Red Tag Truck Cash. And at Kraft Nissan, you get special interest rates and huge rebates. You get both. The other guys, you only get one rate or rebate. So listen up. All 2019 Rogues in stock are $3,000 off, and you get 0.9% interest for 60 months. All 2019 Altimas in stock are $5,000 off, and you get 2.9% interest for 60 months. And we've got over 100 new Rogues and Altimas to choose from. At Kraft Nissan, Pathfinders and Muranos are up to $8,000 off. And Titans, with America's best truck warranty, 5 years or 100,000 miles bumper to bumper, are up to $12,000 off. Seriously, at Kraft Nissan, Memorial Day savings are today and every day this month, with huge savings all month long. Plus, Nissan is blowing away the competition with special low interest rates and rebates. You get both. No wonder Tallahassee is a Nissan town, a Kraft Nissan town. And Mahan Drive between Academy Sports and Costco. Interest rates with approved credit through NMAC.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Round one of the 101st PGA Championship today at Bethpage Black in New York, and the defending champ is out to a great start. Brooks Koepka with a course record 63. He's the leader at 7 under. Tiger Woods started his round with a double bogey and finished with a 2 over 72. Game 2 of the NBA's Western Conference Finals tonight in Oakland. The Warriors lead the Trailblazers 1-0. Coverage at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio, TV, and the app. Zion Williamson's stepfather, Lee Anderson, tells 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge that Williamson hasn't considered going back to Duke. ESPN's Tim Legler says Williamson could be very happy if he goes to New Orleans.
He's going to find an incredible connection, I believe, to Alvin Gentry, who is one of the easiest guys in the world to be around and connect with in the way he communicates with players.
Tim Legler on Golic and Wingo. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports Cardinals corner Patrick Peterson will be suspended for the first 6 games of the NFL season for violating the league's PED policy.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming, free, always. Don't miss anything. Sometimes you do. It happens. And when it does, you can get caught up because we'll post all 3 hours of the program upon its conclusion, both through iTunes and our own audio vault. You can email the show if you like, jcs at 979espnradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameronShow. Use the WTSM app for whether it's your iPhone, your iPad, any mobile device you got.
iPad.
You can do that. YouTubers, hello, how are you? Same to you, Periscopers. What a day for Brooks Koepka. If you missed at the PGA Championship, go home and watch. Like, go follow that round along.
Stick him in your mouth and suck him.
Yeah.
Stick him in your mouth and suck him.
He beat the brakes off of Tiger Woods and Francesco Molinari today by the tune of 9 strokes in the differential. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, Staten Island was not happy about Molinari's performance.
My goodness gracious. Yeah, so -7. It's a par 70 there, so he shoots a 63, and that is doing some things. And you know, the course sets up for him, and we wondered would he take advantage of the opportunity. Long and straight works. You know, hitting it real far, real straight, over and over again. That'll work.
Really had no messes to clean up until the back 9. And in fact, one of the biggest messes he had to deal with is where he makes whatever it is, a 12, 15-footer for par.
For par, yeah.
He misses the fairway with an iron on a 390-yard par 4. And that tells you, because the rough is, as Dustin Johnson says, it's nothing short of penal. The rough is tough. And Brooks hardly had to deal with it today. The only other time he was in the throes of the rough.
He stuck it to within 5 feet.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that
That was on number 1. When it looked like he was taking a direct line approach. You know, like how on Heileman they say you can't do things, it's like out of bounds to go cut off a couple of the holes?
Yeah.
Looked like that's kind of his strategy on number 1.
May have been.
But on the par 5 on the I think it was on the front side. He went wayward left into the fescue, ends up only making par. But no blemishes on the card today. In fact, he becomes just the 3rd professional golfer ever to shoot multiple 63s in major championships, joining Greg Norman and Vijay Singh. So another short list that Brooks Koepka is on.
Both of those gentlemen, multi-time major winners and Hall of Famers. Good list to be on at a very young age for Brooks Koepka. Meanwhile, the big story of the day is Florida State's season opener against Boise State has been slated for a primetime kickoff, friends, with a national audience on ESPN. That coming down the pike today. Well, That's interesting you bring that up, whether or not that is a Cat 5 maintained for game number 1.
Was that an echo from the future?
It was a faint echo in the distance. I don't know. I don't know.
Got to see how fall camp goes. We got injuries, things like that.
It's also game 1, and it's Boise State. I'm not saying we're great shakes these days, but Boise State's not Alabama. Boise State's not even Ole Miss. They're Boise State.
So a Cat 5 is never adjusted for the curve?
It is. It can be. We might have to start doing that on the regular if we don't get any better.
Like the Syracuse home game?
Suddenly games against Wake and Syracuse feel of great magnitude. Yes, I understand. I just don't know that I'm ready yet. You can't come off a 5-7 and really compete in almost any Cat 5 maintained game. You can play in games that are of vital importance to how the rest of your season is going to go. And, for example, this is one of those. This is a big damn deal. We have talked about it already more than, 6-7 times in the last month and a half about, they really need to win that Boise State game because people aren't feeling too good right now, and they got to get off on the right foot. Tickets aren't exactly selling themselves right now, and only wins can do that. So, you want anybody at Doak Campbell Stadium for that ULM game? May want to win this Boise State game.
At least you got a fighting chance for people to show up by the second quarter for ULM, given it's a 5 p.m. kick.
That
if it was
true.
a noon or a 3:30.
Ooh, man, that's just, that's a toughie. So it is Thursday. Excuse me. It was announced today that today is Thursday, Jeff. Get it together. That game will be prime time Saturday night at 7 o'clock. So that's exciting. I'm looking forward to that, obviously, at the TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. There's no way to say the TIAA Bank Field. It sounds ridiculous.
It's a double-A city anyway.
Each of FSU's first 3 game times are now known, by the way, with that announcement. We play ULM, as you just alluded to, at 5 o'clock on September the 7th here at Doak Campbell Stadium. And then we open ACC play September the 14th on the road at Virginia. That game's going to be on the all-new ACC Network, friends. All right, 7:30 p.m., ACC, brand new ACC Network.
And we're getting to that time now where Swaffy is now empowered. He said, all right, all you ACC people, you turtleneck-wearing, white wine-drinking, beautiful people.
Jeez.
Call your cable and satellite providers.
Get on it.
He actually today, during his presser with an ESPN vice president, said, help us in the negotiating process, please.
Tom, I should mention that if you're out there and you are as excited as I am about the ACC network, which will be the best of all the collegiate networks, not only is it launching on the 22nd of August, much to our joy, but if you want, you can visit getaccn.com. That's getaccn.com to learn more and to see which providers have already signed up to carry the ACC network. Now, Tom, you could do that, or you could just listen to the Jeff Cameron Show and know that I have a full list of the networks that have, in fact, already signed up to carry the great ACC network. So far, DirecTV has said, we're all in on the ACC network. Right after that, I see where Fios says, we too are in. We stand with DirecTV and all of the others who can't wait to welcome in to the millions of customers the ACC network.
Oh, billions almost.
Almost. I see where Optimum is in. The PlayStation View is in on the ACC.
Well, you're covered.
Hulu TV is also carrying.
That's a big one. That actually is a big one.
Hulu TV is carrying the ACC network. Google Fiber is in. Yeah,
never heard of such a thing.
They are in. Going to be great. Can't wait. It's a fine network, Tom, and they too will carry the ACC network. And now we obviously need to get carriage deals with Comcast/Xfinity, as well as the Uverse from AT&T, which, by the way, would be a good thing for people down in Miami because South Florida's major cable providers are Xfinity and the AT&T Uverse.
I'll bet you local watering hole establishments would be just fine if only DirecTV had it, because then more people would
go to the bars and go
to the bar.
They're like, nobody else needs to sign up. We got it right here. Yeah. No, listen, at the end of the day, all that really matters now that you already have DirecTV and that you have Hulu and Google's on board, you just got to get Xfinity. You get Xfinity, we're done here. It's basically everybody's got it at that point.
They had the SEC Network ready to roll last time around.
It'd be nice if Dish Network got it, I suppose. And I don't want to alienate anybody. Does anybody get Dish Network anymore? Is that a thing? People run out there getting Dish Network?
I don't know. Do they drink Tab?
Charter, Spectrum, Time Warner. What's the crap down in Bradenton, Sarasota? That's sorry ass.
It's Spectrum now.
Oh, it's the worst.
Used to be Bright House.
Awful.
They changed the name from Bright House to Spectrum to try and fool you like it's a new provider.
But it's the same crappy thing.
Oh, it's bad. It's the same as Time Warner, too. It's the same platform. I thought you were done coughing. Sorry,
no,
people.
You're good.
That was not a wheezy laugh, folks.
No, that was me coughing. ACC Commissioner John Swofford did tell reporters in Greensboro, North Carolina, earlier this month, Tom, that he was confident that deals would be in place with all of the key cable and satellite providers. And so I think, he's on the push.
He's been confident before and correct before. Give him credit for that.
About the ACC Network, he's been downright omnipotent.
Now we'll see if it's a dump truck full of money or if it's, just like a small passenger van full of, 20s.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but you probably do because you pay attention to this very closely in regards to monies made by other Power 5 conferences. And the Big Ten is now throwing it on the table.
Oh, they're absurd.
Why? Who's racing out to watch Big Ten anything? Ohio State's good. Everybody else sucks. What are we doing?
The whole of the Midwest, I guess.
Ooh, like 17 people still live in the Midwest, but they are all in. My God, it's unbelievable.
I mean, why does Iowa act as the fulcrum of a presidential election? I don't know but,
either.
There it is. It just happens.
According to tax returns retained by the USA Today, yes, they're investigative reports, I'm sure. I'm surprised this is not in a pie chart. The Big Ten recorded nearly $759 million in revenue during the 2018 fiscal year, a record figure that far outpaces the conference's previous yearly earnings, plus the revenue of any other conference for that matter. For the 2017 year, the Big Ten recorded a haul of $512.9 million, meaning the conference recorded an increase of $246 million from 2017 to 2018. That's more than just a chunk of change. That's sizable. They made an extra $246 million because of their new quote-unquote TV deals. Yeah. My God, those are the deals for the ages.
I think we're finally up for renewal in the next 5 years, right? I think it's 2022 or 2023. I'm hoping at least. If it's not, I'm going to lie to myself until I'm told differently. But I think the thing that you're seeing here, it's kind of the same thought process as why baseball regional sports networks are making so much money. Because people DVR and watch on demand for everything but sports. Sports is the last one. Now, if people start not to care about final scores, right?
No, you're going to always care about live sports. I think you're set. I don't care if I watch House at its scheduled time. I can watch it anytime I want. I
usually got to watch 3 in a row, too. You can't just watch one.
Yeah, but I'm saying you're going to watch the live Florida State game. I mean, you just are, unless some a-hole scheduled a wedding or something. You're watching live.
Oh, we've solved this guy's problem. It's only 18 minutes after the hour. Oh, he's crashing. We got to fix him again. That didn't work.
You'll watch House whenever you want to watch House. You'll watch any other show that you want to watch when you want to watch it, but not live sports. You're watching live sports.
Lisa Edelstein walks in. Don't do it, House. He does it anyway.
Then pops a pill and you realize he's addicted again. Damn it.
But he saved another man.
Because of his genius.
And his crying daughter thanks him on the way out the door.
Genius can have addiction. It can be married. Those two
a lot of genius
oftentimes are. Yeah, that's what happens. The Big Ten doled out around $54 million to each of its 12 longest tenured members, while Maryland and Rutgers, the Johnny-come-latelys of that conference, and not adding much at all, they won't receive their full share until the 2020 and 2021 athletic year. That's right.
Can we, upon TV renegotiation, dole out the requisite amount for a BC and a Wake Forest, as in terms of what they bring back to the conference?
$10.
Can we start doing that, please?
$10. Well, BC, that's not true. I got to give it up to BC. They go to a bowl every year. My man takes them to a bowl every year. He's going to get his share. Wake, on the other hand,
Wake is pretty good.
They went
golf,
to a bowl this year. We didn't go to a bowl. They did.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But you're talking about TV ratings.
Yeah, and on the regular, they don't matter. You're right. The 2018 fiscal year marked the first time Nebraska, which joined the Big Ten in 2011, got their full share. Nebraska's been there, almost 10 years now. Maryland and Rutgers both joined the league in 2014.
10 years almost for Nebraska?
Yeah, pretty close. We're 8 years in now. I still hate that they did that. They still don't feel like a Big Ten team to me. They never will.
I thought the Nebraska-Iowa thing was going to be cooler than it ended up being.
Well,
really,
you need Nebraska not to suck every year for that to matter. I mean, Nebraska sucks.
They're trying. They're trying.
Right, I know. They probably won't suck this year. They're on the right track. Then that will be good.
And they've also got enough money to get it wrong and do it again.
Yeah, they do. In the past, the SEC has been the benchmark conference in terms of earnings, but now the Big Ten has sped past their southern counterparts. By comparison, the SEC in February announced that they distributed approximately $627.1 million to their 14 members, a share slightly over $43 million per school. The SEC's revenue for 2017-18 was an increase from the average of $40.9 million distributed amongst their members the previous season. So, the Big 12 recently disclosed earnings of $374 million for its 10 members in 2018. The ACC and the Pac-12 have not made an announcement on what their earnings have been.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
I would think Swaffy would want to race to the podium to say how much money the great ACC is making year in and year out.
We have yet to have a network that is being promoted nonstop, as we are now beaten over the heads with on an hourly basis by ESPN. That's going to change, and I mean this in all sincerity, a lot. Florida State and the rest of the ACC member schools are going to do well with the ACC network. This is going to be a success. Now, we got in the game later than one could have ever wanted. That's really through no fault of the ACC. At the time, the ESPN of the world was backing and investing in and building the SEC network. The ACC didn't have much to offer in the way of a product that you would want to have a network for.
Right. So much so it took 7 years after we granted our rights to actually get a TV network.
Yes, it's a good thing Clemson got good. It's a good thing we returned to prominence.
It is good. It's a good thing that Clemson got good.
Briefly, Miami kind of just stopped sucking immeasurably and got to be at least average, so that helped. Virginia Tech continued to do their part. So, yeah, now it's a viable network that people want to watch. You've got the best team in the country in Clemson, who's surpassed Alabama for college football supremacy. Florida State figures to win 12 games this year, Tom, so right back in the saddle we go with that schedule. But anyhow, yeah, we got to get it together. Now, obviously, holding the NCAA championship in basketball and football simultaneously for the second time in 3 years, showing the prowess and the dominance of the conference is a good thing.
I think also, in truth, and I know the basketball coaches were there a couple of days ago in a more prominent place. They were doing the rounds for interviews, but upping the basketball slate to 20 ACC games, per team, that's huge. That's really big. For content delivery, when you're talking about fall and winter, trying to get the numbers up, I mean, if you've got an extra North Carolina NC State game on a Wednesday and an extra Florida State North Carolina game because you've upped this thing to 20, I think that's a place where empirically you can absolutely say that we're going to get more money from this network because we can capitalize on what is premier in basketball. And then also, we're really damn good in a lot of the other sports, Olympic sports, women's sports. And so
it helps when you're watching the reigning national champions in soccer and softball.
Watch us win in softball
and
again, and then we're going to be all over that TV network for softball because it's going to be Florida State like Clemson is in football. They got to push our brand.
It's a beautiful thing, and I am excited to celebrate. So get ACCN.com is where you want to go and say, hey, let's get on it, Comcast.
And if they start televising college golf, you got me. Now you really got me.
Well, they might. I mean, the Golf Channel does a good job with it now, but college golf is growing. So, in popularity, that is.
But think about
the numbers bear that out, by the way.
The Seminole Intercollegiate. I know you got to do a lot of setup in towers and stuff, but what if that could be an ACC network endeavor? So you have tournaments around the Southeast. I mean, yes, it's alternate programming, but wouldn't you be interested to watch? I know you would, Florida State golf and watching them go against the likes of Wake Forest and Clemson and others.
Of course, I'll watch all of that stuff, and I'm always excited about. Listen, I like the conference network channels. I just always worry about content, but now that we're getting our own, there will be plenty of Florida State sports to watch. I mean, yeah, listen, the SEC network does a really good job of playing SEC baseball on there. So let's just start with that. To have an ACC channel to play, a lot of FSU's baseball games, which have been a thing that you can watch online, sort of shabbily, but I like the marquee games with the big announcers in prime time. We'll get some of those for sure. We will. That'll be exciting.
Yeah, to me, I don't know if it's just a part of getting older, but all I cared about was football, then basketball, then baseball at Florida State when I was undergrad.
Sure.
Or, straight out of college.
You join the rest of us.
This is year 2 of really I'm paying attention to about any sport I can get my hands on. And it's not always on television, but just to keep up. I never cared to keep up with a lot of these sports, and now it's like, oh, my God, I forgot what's going on in round 2 of the women's NCAA, because tomorrow the women start playing for the national championship out in Arkansas.
Yeah, and don't forget, obviously, how good we are in track. And we're gonna be on this channel a lot.
A lot more than on the promos.
A lot. Yeah, people will be like, I am so tired of FSU. Every time I flip over to the great ACC Network, excited to be this part of the dial near the ACC, I wait with bated breath. There's the ACC Network. I click yes or okay, and up pops Florida State again. It's Florida State javelin, Florida State soccer, Florida State softball, Florida State track, Florida State baseball, Florida State tennis. Can we get some other teams on here instead of the mighty Florida State Seminoles? We get it.
Yeah, just wait till football season. You'll see plenty
of other teams during football season. They don't really have much of us there. The importance of the Boise State game. It all comes around. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
I don't know if that makes it real for me now that we've seen this, right? That this little primetime ESPN with a nation watching the Florida State, Boise State game, as we just alluded to.
Does it make you feel more pressure?
Oh, I don't know about that. It puts it out there now. It's like you knew the game was going to happen. Now you know when it's going to happen. And for some reason, knowing when the first 3 games are being played just kind of crystallizes that, yes, it's a ways till football season, but I can start to peer into the future just a little bit and allow myself to kind of put together scenarios by which we start 3-0, begin to foster some form of momentum. Because if you beat a top 25 team in prime time on opening night, and again, ESPN, primetime, nation watching, you send a message right off the bat that things are going to be different. Obviously, anytime we played anybody who was any good last year at all, we got stomped. We weren't competitive. I mean, God forbid that you played a team that actually went to a bowl, you were in trouble. And, just winning that game, I think, would change a bit of the narrative right out the gates, game 1. And then you get a chance to play a really good Virginia team on the road, also prime time, 7:30, and you win that game. Big ifs, big ifs. But if you navigate the first 3 games of the season, I'm going to make an assumption you win the middle one against ULM, and you're 3-0, not only do you accept that things are a lot different, but it also means you start talking about being ranked in the top 20, setting up matchups later in the schedule that you thought maybe you'd written off already, that you begin to dream a little bit, begin to say, well, all right. Because to go 3-0 means you've got a modicum of improvement on the offensive line without questions. The only way you go 3-0 in those 3 games is if you understand what you're doing, meaning you get lined up. There is clear indication that you're better organized, that there is a rhyme and reason to what you're doing. And then confidence is what comes from victories, obviously. And this is a team that can't possibly have any confidence going into that first game. I understand you'll tell yourself it's going to be different as a player. You're sure that you're not going to go ahead and repeat the same sort of disastrous season you had a year ago. But in reality, until you bank that first win against a ranked opponent, until you go out there and show that you can play with somebody that is at least on the national scale, then you don't know, because face it, we had a losing record last year.
Yeah, the pens are still clicking in the offseason, but I will say that the way I feel about the upcoming year is it has shifted, and it does this. There are ebbs and there are flows to an offseason, yeah. And really the only thing that I can picture in my head right now is a lack of a pass rush and dudes wide open over the middle of the field because we don't know how to play zone defense. And so I'm worried about that. That hopefully this year we do see development from our defensive backs. Of course, we have to get better at the linebacker level, and that'll help a whole lot. And in the spring game, it's not fair to say that there were a ton of wide open guys just because we were bad at coverage. No, we were running a lot of vanilla looks. But still, I'm really not focused on the offense at this moment in the offseason. What I'm thinking about, concerned about, is are we going to cover better in man and in zone this upcoming year? Are we going to get to the quarterback early enough that we're not going to allow guys to come open just because it's 4 or 5 seconds that the quarterback has to look and scan over our defense? So right now for me, as I picture TIAA, Bank, Cref, Lincoln Financial, whatever the hell it's called, field, I'm worried about
you're watching guys run
Harlan
free.
Barnett in the defense. And yes, do we know what we're doing in coverage?
How fascinating that you look at that game again with the announcement of the time for that game. If you're just jumping in the car and you don't know why we're referencing this game so frequently, it became official today. They announced that Florida State will play Boise State at 7:30 on ESPN. So primetime national coverage is not a bad thing, but you got to play well. Got to play well. That's another thing. I do like it being, I guess it's a catch-22, but it's good to be on where the whole country can watch you and show that you're different and maybe change the way you're talked about, because that affects recruiting long-term, obviously, games in prime time.
Well, they're certainly going to watch us for a half an hour because it's 7:30, it's Auburn, Oregon. So we're going to get a half an hour of their attention, and what are we going to do first impression-wise year 2? Are people going to say, oh, okay, look at the Noles, they look a little bit better this year? Or are they going to flip over to ABC for the kickoff of an SEC Pac-12 clash and say, oh, God, same old Noles. I guess it's Groundhog Day down there in Tallahassee.
Oh, man, don't do that. Don't tell me that. That's just going to I hate the idea of us rolling our eyes right out the gates. You're right, by the way. Oregon and Auburn kicking off ABC Saturday Night Football. They announced that yesterday. The first 3 games of the 14th season of Saturday Night Football on ESPN. LSU at Texas on September the 7th is a great game. Excited about LSU and Texas.
That's a physical-ass game right there.
Yep, that'll be Saturday Night Football game in Week 2. Defending national champion Clemson at Syracuse September the 14th will fill that spot in Week 3. Syracuse was able to get after the passer in a way that they never have just a year ago. So in addition to their offense, it was a defense that changed their fortunes. Are they again going to be that kind of a team that we go, wow, Syracuse is going to win 9 games this year, huh? Okay. So I'm curious. I think Syracuse regresses to the mean. I spoke, yesterday, I should say. I almost said last week. It was just yesterday about Florida's, benefiting from the turnover margin being so lopsided in their favor. Nobody had that happen more than Syracuse. David Hale did a good report on this, noting that Syracuse, they were the benefactors of turnovers left and right last year.
They played Clemson tough. They knocked Sunshine out of the game last year, which is what made it really interesting and put Clemson on serious upset alert until the waning moments of that game. And yet still, I'm setting the over-under for Clemson's point output in Week 3 to be 42.5. Syracuse is not going to sneak up on you for a 3rd consecutive year. There's no way, no how.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, but maybe that's a weird matchup. Maybe there's something that their coaches have figured out. I'm not sure what it is, but it does stop being a fluke at some point. You do end up saying...
Sure. I'm sure people said that about NC State and Florida State in its infancy when it became a thing, and then they just, now you book it every time we go up there.
Speaking of TV stuff, by the way, Tom, I didn't get this out there earlier, but a couple of things here. First of all, Fox announced this week that its most attractive college football games each week, they're going to air at noon. In order to offset CBS, obviously, and ABC, which air the SEC and 3:30 games, and so
good job. That makes
go.
Total sense.
Yeah, and I just mentioned that ABC announced their first 3 Saturday night games: Auburn, Oregon, LSU, Texas, Clemson, Syracuse. But that's the other time to mention is that now the good games on Fox are going to be at noon. Okay, I like that. That's a smart move on their part. Also, should be noted that. I don't know where you stand on him. I tend to like him. I think he is a bit of a prickly pear, if you will, but I think his analysis is usually spot on. Brock Heward has been hired away. Did you know that?
By whom? Fox?
Fox.
Well, naturally.
Yeah. He hired
Just
Brock
look at him.
Yeah.
He's perfect for Fox.
Yeah, but they hired him away from ESPN to join Joe Davis. He'll be on the number 2 college football team, replacing Brady Quinn. Quinn joined Fox's quote-unquote star-studded pregame show. Do you know what that pregame show looks like, Tom, besides white?
Who else is on it? I don't know.
It is Brady Quinn, Urban Meyer, Matt Leinart.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They signed Urban. Fox got the Irby.
Not surprising that they were undeterred to bring in Urban Meyer after the fiasco at Ohio State with all that he ignored.
And so I was just thinking back on Florida State at NC State, and I can't remember 2008 and how it went. But if you think about it, so in 2010, that's the Thursday night Carlton Jones game.
Mm-hmm.
Russell Wilson had us really shaking in our boots, and for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
But, we had 3 dudes wide open in the back of the end zone, blow that game. 2012 is the Jimbo special. 16-0 at halftime.
Trying to be Alabama, run the ball in the middle of the line and go home.
2014 is Jacoby Brissett being Neo from The Matrix and making that game way more interesting than it had to be.
It was nuts.
Jameis rolled his ankle in that game, too.
Mm-hmm.
2016 was a really sloppy game. I believe Jimbo called a trick play, a Jaquez Patrick pass. He called a trick play in that game for sure. But then they dropped a pick in the end zone from Frenchie before he throws the touchdown for the win.
That is correct.
And then we had, of course, last year where we just get tuned up. It is never easy to play there. It's not just kind of a weird thing. It's actually, we probably should only have maybe one win in the last decade there.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it. Wow.
That is tough.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
I can't, we don't
It's
know
the smell of
whys
urine
that.
emanating from the
I
stands.
guess that's what it is. It's just weird. You're around the carnies.
But you go through all of them, and they're all difficult. Even in victory, you're like, ugh, God, get us out of here.
They're all annoying. You going through those games again reminded me of how frustrated I was. I could feel that frustration. It was like, I went through sensory. I could every time you were talking about the set of circumstances, I could feel my palms sweat.
That was the last time I went to AJ's for a football game because I was 0-2 at AJ's, and I stayed
like,
for the Thursday. I'm like, no more.
And now there's never going to AJ's again.
2010 and 2016 probably cancel each other out, though. We deserved a better fate in 10, and in 16 they probably should have beat us. That was that 16 team that you love so much.
That's well, don't get started. We got to go to break. Jeff Cameron Show 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this. It's right here, guys. We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Before I get to probables, let me bring up something in your wheelhouse. You know more than I do about what is or is not reviewable in the NHL. But I did watch last night, and I did see that a play was not reviewable that absolutely should be, and I'm not even certain how it's not in the realm of what is reviewable and not. For starters, can I say any scoring play has to be reviewable? I mean, what are we doing? That should just be the standard. Anytime there's a score, it's reviewable.
Yeah, I think what's happened with the NHL of late, and this was a hand pass that was not reviewable by rule.
Yeah.
The NHL's just gotten bit and unlucky with a lot of things they hadn't considered in a very short period of time. One thing I cited that never made the headlines at all was Carolina-Washington,
right?
Double overtime game. There's a play in which Washington clearly lifts the puck out of play into the stands inside its own blue line. That's something that's black and white, a 2-minute penalty. If you're inside your own zone and you're the defender and you shoot the puck out of play, it's a 2-minute penalty for delay of game. It was never reviewed. It could not be reviewed. They had to clean that up. They've had a couple of headshots that deserved to be reviewed. One that wasn't. That was the San Jose-Vegas game where San Jose only goes on because there's a 5-minute major penalty assessed for a hit that wasn't dirty at all.
No.
So a flagrant type review like basketball has to be in play there. There was one between Boston and Columbus in Game 6 where there was a headshot late in the game. Only a 2-minute penalty was assessed. Should be able to review that. And now this. A hand pass that leads to a goal. And honestly, I can't think of any example in my life of watching hockey where a hand pass has not been called and it's led directly to a goal. Certainly not in the playoffs. Never seen that before.
And now it just happened, and that's a big damn deal. The Sharks win in Game 3 because of that hand pass, which when they showed you from different angles and finally zoomed in, you could clearly see this would have been very easily reviewed. Toronto could have just whistled down or buzzed down and said, guys, we got a problem.
Correct.
That's a hand pass. That's no goal.
Hockey's going to get it right in the offseason, and they're going to expand review significantly. They couldn't do it this playoffs and have it say ready for the Stanley Cup Finals because there'd be too many teams that are just super pissed, and it would not be a good for the league. They just got to wear it and hope another weird situation doesn't come up. But it feels like when it rains, it pours, because although these conference finals mean absolutely jack, even in hockey markets in the United States, nobody cares about these conference finals. It's a big deal for the sport. Because legitimacy of the sport and integrity of the game are big, man. That's a big deal. And hockey's usually been okay historically with this, but they've had a bad run of late.
That's why I brought it up, is that they have been okay. They've been the sport that we could cite, along with individual sports like tennis that does such a good job. But it seemed to me that was a glaringly obvious problem, and I just don't know how that would have not been under the umbrella of reviewable plays. It just doesn't make any sense. By definition, any scoring play ought to be, it is in every sport, reviewable.
But this isn't one of those situations where it's like the New Orleans NFC Championship game where how does the ref miss that call?
Yeah, he just missed the call.
It was a really congested area, and typically they're pretty good about hand pass rulings.
Yeah, I don't blame the refs. Like, the refs missed the call because it was tough to see. Got it. Things happen really quickly on ice.
Massive bodies and equipment, and if it hits off the equipment of a St. Louis Blues player and goes to the same spot on the ice, no
it's
harm, no foul.
Right. Yeah, no, that's where I say Toronto has to come in and say, that's the headquarters there for the reviews. They got to come in immediately and go, whoa, we got a problem.
Well, and also they got to change it or look at the offside play where that came into play for Colorado on a 2-2. Now, Colorado was in the wrong, but, I mean, if you're going to come to the bench and you're offside, they got to put like a half moon there around the, know, where it's like, it's an okay area. If you're not in the play.
You're not trying to make a play.
But the Rules Committee has a lot of work in the offseason. A lot of work.
We would not have guessed it, but they have been snake bit, as you noted, throughout these playoffs. It's one of 4 to 5 examples hardcore hockey people and even casual hockey people are citing where replay or the ability to replay something or a simple rule change, as you're suggesting for that, should have already been in place and should have been something that you could foresee being a problem. But as is usually the case, until something actually happens in a game to cost a team or a player, it doesn't get changed.
Now, I have a family pool in which there are 5 different squads, 5 people picking across all of the playoff teams. Then there's one, kind of house team.
I'm going to take it you benefited from last night's situation.
San Jose has been quite lucky in these playoffs.
Yeah.
I've had San Jose. What can I say?
Yeah, it's working out well for you. Let's get to probables and knock these suckers out as I continue to adore watching my man Josh Bell play baseball. He's going to have the quietest, best season in baseball because nobody cares about the Pirates. I got it, but they can't get him out.
He and Eugenio Suarez is going to hit 40 dingers this year. Everybody knows that when somebody hits 40 bombs, it's like that dude's going to do it in complete anonymity.
Yeah, no, nobody will even mention it. You will, though. You got his back, just like I got Josh Bell's back. Fire away.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Rangers, Royals, Lance Lynn going for the Rangers. The Royals will throw Homer Bailey. We've got the Orioles and the Indians, Dan Straley and Trevor Bauer. Cubs, Reds, one of those rare times that I'll pull for the Reds. Jose Quintana goes for the Cubs. Luis Castillo going for the Reds. Cardinals, Braves, Adam Wainwright, Julio Teheran. Who won last night?
It's a good question. I don't care about the Braves, but I like when they lose.
I like when they beat the Cardinals.
All right, I'll pull it up. But the coverage of that game will begin tonight at 6:30
right
pregame
after
coverage.
Front Row Knowles, right?
Soccer guys.
Soccer guys. No Front Row Knowles on a Thursday, Jeff. It's Soccer guys on a Thursday. Get it together. Anyhow, Cardinals, Braves, the game you can hear right here on these airwaves after the Soccer guys. That's a great show, too.
Braves won last night 4-0. What a shame.
Damn right they did.
Probably should have heard that with the Braves updates we've been running today.
Beating that ass. Adam Wainwright goes for the Cards. Braves should demolish the Cards tonight. Adam Wainwright's 105 and average at best. Julio Teheran will throw for the Braves. He hasn't been very good. Blue Jays, White Sox, Marcus Stroman, Dylan Covey. We've got Twins, Mariners, Michael Pineda. And I remember when Michael Pineda was an up-and-coming badass. Just hasn't worked out.
You know what I saw yesterday was that the Twins lead the major leagues in home runs from the catcher position. They had 15 entering play last night. 15!
I don't think people realize the Twins are 27-15. Speaking of 15, the Twins are 27-15.
Leading the majors in home runs? I mean, what in the world?
They're nearly 15 games over 500. What are the Twins doing? Well, you've got a friend in the house that's a huge Twins fan. Do you watch their games?
Sparingly.
Yeah.
Sparingly. No, well, you get into June and then we start rolling into it, yeah.
Eric Swanson throwing for the Mariners. Pirates going West Coast against the Padres. It'll be Trevor Williams throwing for the Buccos. He's been good this year. Followed by Eric Lauer. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. Baseball action, I think, maybe? Yeah. I really enjoyed the NBA last night. That has an indicator to me that that's going to be a great series. I'm looking forward to it. That'll be fun.
It's an interesting fourth quarter, too, because I flipped over to the final 90 seconds of San Jose, St. Louis in regulation when the Sharks tie it.
Mm-hmm.
They pull the goalie, and they do get the goal right at the mouth net. And when I had switched over to that game, it was 96-91, I think, Milwaukee. And somehow, some way, Toronto goes on a quick 9-2 run. And then as soon as I turned back, that's when Milwaukee goes on the big run, and Lowry turns down the shot wide open at 199, which was crazy, as he was the only guy worth a damn in the fourth quarter.
He literally was the only guy that scored in the fourth quarter. Every one of his teammates combined went 0 for 15. That's the truth. I think Toronto's got to feel great about themselves after last night.
Well, that was the one thing, ESPN.com had the headline. Usually that headline crawl on the right is useless in terms of what the article says and what the headline reads.
Right.
But it said that Lowry is the only Raptor that made a shot in the fourth quarter as teammates go 0 for 15. I said, well, there's a headline. That'll grab your freaking attention.
That summarizes everything, doesn't it? Yeah. I thought if I were a Toronto fan last night, they controlled the game by and large and got nothing from their star. So they got and Brook Lopez is never going to do that again in his life. I mean, when Brook Lopez is the best player on the floor and you got to come back at home to win a game and he drops 29, 11, and 4, with those 4 being blocks, okay.
That's okay. George Hill's coming for you now. He got his 0 for out of the way. He started slow in the last series, too. He had just 9 points in game 1 against Boston.
Yeah, it was that was a weird deal. Kawhi Leonard's not going to go over in the fourth quarter too often, and they'll get something, I would think, from Siakam, Serge Ibaka, who The two of those guys last night didn't show up, and there they were with a chance to win.
Kawhi was just tired, man.
Well, carrying your team can do that. I am going to need somebody. I didn't suspect that Kyle Lowry would be leading the way with 10 of 15 from the floor. I mean, if you're going to get anything close to that from Kyle Lowry, it takes one guy, either Siakam, I would guess, or Ibaka, to have a decent game, and they win. So it'll be fascinating. I'm hoping that goes 7.
Assuming Milwaukee doesn't make adjustments like it did from game 1 to game 2 against Boston.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can make adjustments, but I don't know. Maybe they'll just sick Lopez on him the rest of the series.
Well, he's always had crazy eyes, but they looked particularly animated crazy last night. They were Judge Doom-like.
He was feeling it. That's an interesting set of circumstances there with Brook Lopez, who's not a bad player. I don't want to make it sound like Brook Lopez can't play. He's a decent player.
He's also a different player than he used to be. Marv Albert kept on bringing it up last night.
Jeez, he wouldn't stop.
He's now a volume 3-point shooter.
Marv gets on things, and Alberts do in general.
It's like Kenny.
Yeah.
Shots are 10-2.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thanks, Kenny. He can't wait to check that. Like, if there's a shot on goal and they're not sure it counts as a shot, was it on goal? He's like looking at the chart. What? Another shot on goal.
7 straight shots for the Rangers.
Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Soccer guys, once again, up next. Stay tuned for that. It's a good show, followed by Braves baseball. One note, I will not be on the air tomorrow. I'm going to a service, so not going to be able to do the show tomorrow. We'll be back with you on Monday. Wanted to get that out there. But you've got soccer guys next, and you've got Braves baseball after that.
And run best of tomorrow as well.
There you go. Thank you. Good work. Talk to you guys Monday.